Hi.
Hello. Hey.
Hello.
So basically, doing a little secret project. So I'm interviewing like family and friends, just asking a couple questions about me and Rachel over the years, and I'm gonna put it all together and surprise her with it. So.
Oh, cool! What a great idea.
Yeah, it's been fun. The logistics have been a little tricky, but we're figuring it out as we go.
Okay. Well, we don't know what we're up for, but Mom just says no pictures is all she cares about.
Okay, no pictures.
Yes.
I can do that. It doesn't record.
Oh, wait, you're gonna film me saying things.
Yes.
Oh, what?
Is that bad?
The heads up was loose. Ask, are you putting together like a compilation video?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, you took these things.
You're gonna edit the bad parts, right?
You're getting a cameo, by the way.
Hey, little, what are you doing? Thank you for this. It's a good sign when
I got my goofy Charlie Brown shirt. This is my Charlie Brown shirt. I wear it when I got a lot of airplane work to do sometimes.
It's gonna look great. It's gonna look really good.
I call it my Charlie Brown. It's very brown.
I like it. It looks good. I've had a lot of tech issues. I did a 30-minute conversation with Kevin because it was just kind of for fun, and I didn't have any audio, and so I've had a couple of those where it's like gonna be kind of funky.
Are you talking about my first one?
Yeah.
Or other people?
Your first one was by far the best. But we lost
You're
it.
just saying that.
What is it? 5?
5 married,
years?
10 dating. Yeah.
What?
5 married, 10 dating.
10 dating?
Yeah.
No wonder I don't have a good memory of you guys starting. But
So what number is this?
This
Be
is 5 for marriage, 10 for dating.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's yeah. Hit the big
That's
10. Yeah. I'm doing
Wow.
that. Yeah. Isn't that wild?
You were 21?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's even crazier.
Yeah, that is wild. We spent the entire 20s together.
5, right?
5 married, 10 dating.
Oh my
That's the
gosh.
kick. That's the kicker. That's why I'm doing this.
That's insane.
Yeah.
10 years?
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah. 10 years ago, we hung out in Park House for the first time. Does that make you want to throw up?
That does.
Yeah.
That does not seem like that long ago.
No.
Oh my gosh.
I'm getting a lot of good answers now, like years after things have happened. I'm like, wow, I'm getting a lot of insight to a lot of our relationship.
You're such a planner. It's cute.
I am. I'm a big planner. Yeah. I wish I had planned this a little earlier because it's due in 3 days.
I know. What is your anniversary like this week, right?
It's Friday. Yeah. So yeah, I won't probably have it done in time, but it'll be fun. She probably knows. Maybe she doesn't know. I have no idea, but.
I imagine the hardest part is you keeping a straight face and pretending like nothing's happening.
Oh yeah, she knows that there's something. She doesn't know what yet, I think. So I'll just ask questions. Feel free to both answer or answer as a group. It's like 10 questions or so, nothing too crazy. So just whatever feels right.
Ooh.
Okay, so it's just like 10 questions.
Wow, 10 questions.
Okay, so basically just answering questions about me and Rach and memories, whatever comes to mind, just from like over the years. So.
Okay, cool. I can do that. Yeah, totally.
Cool. Let me know when you're recorded.
And 1, 2, 3.
Ready, go.
Oh, you're gonna start by saying your name, where you live, and how you know us, or how you met us. Okay, so first thing is say your name, where you live, and how you know us.
How do I know them? Where do I start?
As if I'm talking to you, or
Yeah, you just, yeah, I mean, as if you're being like introduced in the video, like who's this person?
oh, okay.
Full name?
Yeah.
Steve Shad, Omaha, Nebraska, and I'm Tate's dad.
Cindy Shad. I am Tate's mother. I live in Kansas City, Missouri.
I'm Beth Kosova, and I'm Rachel's mother, and your mother-in-law.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay, we are Steve and
Teresa Plowman. I am her father, and this is her stepmother. We live in Norfolk, Nebraska.
Okay, I am Andrew, and I live in Seattle, and I am Rachel's brother.
I am Mallory, and I am Andrew's partner, and I live in Seattle with Andrew.
My name is Andrea, and I live in North Platte, Nebraska, and Tate is my brother.
My name is Nico, or T. I live in Portland, Oregon, and Rachel is my stepsister.
Nice. See, these are easy.
That's an easy question.
You nailed that one.
Yeah, I felt good about that question.
My name is Maris Shad. I live in North Platte, Nebraska, and Tate is my grandson.
My name is Catherine Bosaba, and Rachel is my granddaughter.
And I am Joe Bosaba, Kathy's husband and Rachel's grandpa.
Okay, I'm Pearl Plowman, and I am Rachel's grandmother.
Hi, I'm Marvin Plowman, the grandfather of Rachel.
Name is Charles Russell, Corden, Indiana. See, I'm the grandpa of Tate.
My name is Daphne. I live in Bellevue, Nebraska, and I am Tate's and Rachel's niece.
Nice. You nailed it. I wondered if you were going to figure it out.
I had to think about that one for a second.
My name's Aiden, and I live in North Platte, and I am the nephew.
Well, my name's Landon Ham, and we're related by being my uncle, and this is my mom.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Aunt Jenny. I am Rachel's aunt. I live in Seward, Nebraska.
I'm Mary. I'm Rachel's aunt and also her godmother. And I also live in Seward, Nebraska.
I'm Jack. I'm Rachel's uncle. We live in Seward, Nebraska.
I'm Aunt Chris. I'm from Illinois, Southern Illinois right now. I'm her dad's sister. I'm Aunt Becky from Houston, Texas. I am number one aunt. Hey.
Hi, I'm Becca. I live in Washington, Missouri, and I'm Rachel's cousin.
And I'm Corey, and I live in Phoenix, Arizona, and I'm also Rachel's cousin.
Hi. I'm Landon Newman.
Where are you from?
I'm from Houston, Texas, and Rachel's my cousin. That's right.
Okay, hi, I'm Lindsay. This is Ryan. Not happy right now. I'm from Houston, and I'm Rachel's cousin.
My name's Jack. I'm Rachel's cousin, and I live in Omaha.
My name is Joe. I am Rachel's cousin, and I'm from Seward.
I'm Rokini. I live in Linville, Tennessee, and I'm Rachel's cousin.
I'm Steve, and I'm in Tennessee right now, but I live in Oakland, and I am Rachel's uncle.
EJ Polinsky. I live in North Platte. I've known Tate since grade school.
I'm Emily. I live in Kansas City, and I met Rachel in 6th grade, and I met Tate when I was 21.
Rick Poppy. I live in Central City, Nebraska. Tate and I think we just decided we met playing baseball.
All right, my name is Jordan, and right now I live in Kearney, Nebraska, and I met Tate through middle school.
My name's Kathleen Hansen. I live in Lincoln, and I met Rachel in middle school. And I met Tate because she started dating Tate, and so that's how we met.
I'm Kevin Broderson, and what else do I say? All right, I'm Kevin Broderson. I live in Minot, North Dakota, and Tate and I met at Beta, probably in the Pledge Wing. We're not 100% sure. It's all been just one big wild ride since.
Abe Karimi, Tatum, and I met the very first day of college move-in back in University of Nebraska Lincoln. What was that, 2010?
Yeah.
Something like that. I live in Arizona right now, but moving back to Omaha.
Matt. Jillian.
More.
From Omaha. And Let me think for a second. I met Tate at a beta party.
And I met Tate in Beta.
Okay, my name is Susie. I live in Omaha, Nebraska. And I met Rachel in college at UNL through Emily. And then I think Tate, the first time I met you might have been when Rachel chipped her tooth.
Hi, this is Alex. I live in Denver, Colorado, and I met Tate freshman year of college.
Nathan Detterman. I live in Waynesville, Missouri. Don't Google it, it'll make you sad. I met Tatum at Beta, Nebraska.
I'm Sarah Cass. I live in Elmhurst, and I know Rachel and Tate from college.
I am Blake Fredrickson. I'm married to Sarah Cass, even though we have different last names. So I also live in Elmhurst, and I know Tate from Beta, and I know Rachel because of Tate.
Rahul and Jessica Batra. We know Tate and Rachel from college, and we also,
And we live in Colorado Springs.
We live in Colorado Springs.
Tyler,
And Sarah.
and we live in Olathe, Kansas City, and we know Tate and Rachel through good times in college for sure.
I'm Emily Swickard. I live in Gardner, Kansas, and I know Tate and Rachel from college. Rachel is in my sorority.
And I'm Nick, her husband, and I met Rachel and Tate mostly through you. A little bit in Nebraska, but mostly afterwards.
Zach and Gabby in Overland Park, Kansas, and I met Tate the first week of freshman year at Nebraska, and I met Rachel probably the first semester of freshman year at Nebraska.
I'm Sarah. I live in Kansas City, and I met Tate in dental school, and then Rachel shortly after.
Ben Reimer, living currently in Omaha.
Hannah Reimer, also live in Omaha.
And we met in dental school.
My name is Doe Park. I'm in New York City, and I know Rachel and Tate because I worked with Rachel back in 2019.
My name is Brooke Barnes. I live in New York City, and I know you, Tater, taught through Rachel because she and I worked together at Hell on Earth, run at Riley Architect.
Hi, guys. My name is Jimena. I live in Brooklyn, New York. I know Rachel and Tate because Rachel had the unfortunate mistake of working at Run at Riley Architect with me.
Yeah, so my name is Martin Arista. I currently live in the Bay Area of California, recently moved. Hi. And we met at a park, at Prospect Park in Brooklyn, New York.
Adam Gall, my wife and I, and Perry are in Omaha. I know Tate through Rachel. Met Rachel when we both worked at the Post and Nickel. My younger brother Artie actually knew Tate before I did, which I won't hold that against him, but that's just a little aside. And then got to hang out with them as a couple, first in New York, and then recently in Kansas City as new parents.
What are any early memories of Rachel, maybe like growing up as you guys were friends, that come to mind?
What are any other early memories you have of Rach before we were dating, if you have any specific that come to mind?
The first memory?
An early memory.
Well, of course, a lot of them, all kinds of them.
Early memory.
Yours go way back.
Yeah.
Where to start?
I have a lot.
I know one little memory, and this even goes way, way back, is I just got a trip to Boise on my work schedule just the other day. And I got to thinking about that as I was walking around downtown Boise, and I know exactly where this little town square, this little market square, and I may go back there very, very soon here. And that's where we figured out what Rachel's name was going to be. Rachel's mother and I were strolling through downtown Boise, and we were kind of at the last minute still struggling with names. I remember that.
I know what
so
that's
that
like.
goes way back.
Well, the early memory was the race to Lincoln when she was being born. We were in New Mexico, and we heard that the stork was flying around, and so we made a long drive, long dash to get to Lincoln to see her.
I have lots of memories of Rachel, of
Susie down in Missouri at having a garage sale, or actually it was a kind of a farm sale, and Steve was down there helping us, and suddenly he got this phone call, and he just disappeared like that. I remember how exciting that day was when Rachel was born.
But plenty of other funny little memories, when she was little, oh, so many of them. I guess I mainly remember after we moved into that big house, probably her running around the yard and wearing fancy dresses around that house, and how early she was talking and communicating and, smiling and laughing just so early. I remember she was just still in her little bassinet. She was smiling, laughing, and cooing, kind of like Meadow, I think. Yeah, she was always very easy, and she was always very good with like grandparents and going out to eat and going to movies, or from the very earliest age. She was very good with books and little things in her lap, and coloring, and just very content, very easy little girl.
Yeah.
Just being kind of a happy, easygoing little girl. She was always a little mommy's helper. She just was always a super good little girl, just delightful to be around. She was just a great child.
I don't remember a whole lot of things about Rachel being born and so forth, but I remember Rachel growing up and being such a nice little girl.
Little lullabies that we used to play at night, when she was about Meadow's age. And,
yeah.
Her helping me out in the yard. I still remember she spent a lot of time in the yard with me when she was little. A lot of time, either on my back or in a swing, or on some little rocking device of some sort.
Yeah.
My earliest memory of sweet Rachel was probably just looking at her and thinking, what beautiful curly hair and blue eyes, and I just fell in love with you right away. And now I have my very own blue-eyed, curly-haired granddaughter, and I think of you when I see her.
You know what? I think back to her first little birthday party in a little house that they lived in, and my Aaron was just a little bit older, so again, just sweet little innocent face with blonde hair and blue eyes. I thought that was perfect, and yeah, she's been a delight for her life.
The one favorite memory I have of Rachel, when she came to our house, you were maybe 2, and the first thing you did was walk in the door, sit down, take your little sandals off, and pick the lint out of your toes.
Well, I was gonna say picking her toes when she came in the house, but Mary already stole that memory. So I guess all of our little birthday parties, living close to them in Lincoln.
Our first 2 houses were pretty close together. So that neighborhood is also close to, well, we're fairly close to downtown, close to the church, close to Antelope Park, close to, where we would go shopping. And her little life was, that area, maybe like this 12-block area. And grandmas and grandpas would come over quite a bit when we first bought that house, and when we had our little house too. And she spent a lot of time walking around those neighborhoods and her little what do you call those things, her burley.
South Street, lots of things at South Street. I remember playing ping pong with Rachel, foosball. I remember fighting with her over the remote. She would often want to watch America's Next Top Model, and I would want to watch something else. I remember that. We spent a lot of time outside on the trampoline, bouncing around. Lots of great memories with Leo, our first dog. Our grandparents had an apartment right by the Capitol building in Lincoln, and we had these building blocks that were made out of cardboard that looked like bricks, and we would build little towers and little castles on their floor. Those were some of the earliest memories I have, I think, of Rachel.
There was a lot of people over at the house for their graduation.
Oh, yeah.
It was a lot of fun. I mean, of course, looking back on it, Teresa would say it was a lot of work, but it was a lot of fun. So that was one fun thing about that house, was having big parties and get-togethers over there.
Grandpa and Grandma place in Arizona. He was very, very little, and very cute and lovable and sweet, and I loved her to death. You guys had those dresses.
Yeah.
Yeah, the similar dresses. There's a great shot of them right outside by the swimming pool.
Fond memories of the trip that we made to Europe and met Rachel and Andrew and her parents over in France. One thing I remember in particular was having a picnic out under some kind of fruit tree in southern France, someplace. It was just a very neat experience.
My earliest memory of Rachel is probably when we were like maybe 5, 6, and we were playing at a park in Dallas where our other cousin lived. And we would just walk down this huge hill and grab rocks, and then we just went and filled a whole water fountain and just stuffed it full of little pebbles. And I also remember this little shirt she used to wear all the time. There was like this like bubble like pinched shirt, and she would like kind of go across her shoulders. And I always was so jealous that Rachel had that shirt.
My favorite memory of Rachel is probably not just one individual thing. It's kind of like spread out over the whole course of who Rachel is in this family. And it comes down to Easters and how she's just such a trooper with going to hunt Easter eggs with all of the kids who are fighting around her in a more aggressive way, trying to get the Easter eggs. And she's just so pleasant and sweet.
Some of our favorite memories of Rachel have happened like a lot because we've been with Rachel since we were really little.
And we love her lots.
Yes, of course. So I remember one time walking into an ice cream shop in Breckenridge, Colorado at one of our family reunions, and I asked if anybody could pronounce the really confusing looking word on the board. And Rachel looks at me, very straight face, and says, German chocolate cake. And that's when I knew I was pretty dumb.
And my favorite memories are just, we always thought Rachel was way cooler than us because she was older than us, and she just is cooler than us.
Yeah.
But we would go to her house and we would play Sing Star, and she had a really cool room with a little hidden doorway. I don't know.
Yeah.
We just always had fun with Rachel.
She also made me mac and cheese one time at one of those sleepovers. That was pretty cool too.
It was pretty fun.
Yeah.
My favorite memory with Rachel is her giving me piggyback rides all the time when I was little.
I think my first memory of Rachel, and I didn't really connect the dot that it was with Rachel until I knew who she was, my stepsister at the time, right? Was we were in the same play together, Fiddler on the Roof, I'm pretty sure. And I think we kind of made, we were kind of friends, sort of just like I just I knew who she was. I know like her name, I'm not sure I knew that was Rachel Plowman at the time, you know, but like I like.
Weren't you like a little kid or something?
Oh yeah, I was first, second grade, so I don't know how she might have been middle school, something like that.
Well, I just wanted to be her. She was always a cool cousin and had the best clothes.
We did goofy things. We weren't like cool kids.
No.
Yeah. Like probably dressed up later than you were supposed to.
Like phases, like fads?
Yeah, like tutus. Lots of tutus.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
That was a phase.
I mean, an early memory, I think, is her sharing her music with me. We were sharing an iPod, I think, or a CD player. I'm not sure. Probably was a CD player.
Yeah, for sure.
Rach, I think Avril Lavigne. That was like my two favorite albums for the next 3 years, probably.
I was trying to think about this, and I think one of the funniest ones didn't come from middle school, but from high school. So Emily Ribeiro used to, she's older than us. And by a lot, she's older by like at least a few months. And so she was 16 before me and Rachel were. So she would always drive us around because we didn't have cars or licenses. So she would always drive us around. And Rachel and I would fight over who got shotgun. And there was one time that we literally fought over who got shotgun. She was hanging on to the edge of the car, and I was pulling her legs, trying to get her out of the front seat. Because we were so, like, I don't even remember who was supposed to have shotgun, and we probably would disagree on who was supposed to have shotgun, but that was the whole point. So I remembered that, and I laughed out loud because it's just how it used to be.
Yeah, Emily's such an old ass driving.
Yeah,
early.
she's so old. Yeah, we used to say that she was going to be wearing tankinis while me and Rachel were still wearing bikinis because she's so much older than us.
That explains a lot, I feel like, for the vibe between you three, a little bit. Yeah.
I remember her mostly from sophomore year when we were both having it. That was our particularly fun year. There's one picture that pops up on my Facebook every year that makes me laugh so hard, and that's like we're in a car and we're like holding each other's faces and like making a weird face at each other. It's very cute. But mostly I remember her from being like one of the 4 Rachels. And like, because there were 4 Rachels, 3 Rachel P's, and she was just so dang cute and sweet all through college.
You know, I had spent a lot of time hanging out with Rachel at, you know, with the DGs, but also at the Post and Nickel, RIP.
Yeah, so I first met Rachel at the Post and Nickel. I don't remember if I interviewed her or what, but I remember at the time I was managing kind of the men's department, and the women's department was separate, but it was, you know, not as cool as working downstairs and this, that, and the other. And my initial thoughts were, wow, she seems like she's got it together. She seems really good and will do well at this job, and we should make a play to steal her from upstairs so that she can come work downstairs in the men's department. And as luck would have it, it eventually happened. So basically my first impression was, this is someone who's going to be good at what she does. She's highly competent, and I want to work with her. So
I feel like it was a very quick passing in our call, and she was like, I think you're dating my brother, but I don't remember. I'm gonna be honest, but I do remember the first time I really got to spend a lot of time with Rachel, and that was when we were going to Arizona for your cousin's wedding, and your dad picked up me and Rachel, and we had like 30 hours in the car together with just me, Rachel, and Steve. And we were driving through a snowstorm, and Rachel had prepared salads for everyone, and she asked if we wanted a salad, and I didn't like salad that much at that time, but it was a really good salad.
I can't believe, God, the Post days. I don't know, I probably didn't even date her at the point when you were working there, but I used to go there so much. I got
you
like...
didn't spend much because I didn't remember you.
No, then I didn't spend much anyway when I went. It was always for like the shoe sale, the men's shoe sale.
Yeah, when stuff's cheap, come on in.
Yeah, exactly. What is an early memory you have of me?
Of you?
Yeah.
Of just you?
Yeah, just anything that comes to mind from back in the day. What is an early memory you have of me? Or a favorite memory? Yeah, of me. This will be an interesting one. What is your earliest memory of me?
Oh boy.
Whoa, I have a million. I'll try and pick out 1 or 2.
Yeah.
You always running to my room and going, sissy, sissy.
The one that comes to mind is Tate when he was a little boy, and he'd just been potty trained, and he would come out of the bathroom completely naked, and he would bend over in front of us and grab his ankles, and he would say, "Am I clean, sweep?"
An early memory that sticks out is every day after school I would ask you, hey, how did today go? What did you do at school? And you start crying. And I'm like, son, what's the matter? You know, it always breaks my heart when you cry. And I was like, what's the matter? And you go, I want to be grounded. And I said, grounded? Why do you want to be grounded? Do you know what grounded is? No, but everybody at school is grounded. I want to be grounded. And I said, son, that means when you get in trouble, then you get grounded and you can't do some of the things that you like when you like to read and stuff like that. And you said, I don't want to be grounded.
God, grade school, having like 2-3 day sleepovers, pulling all-nighters. Going snowboarding, that was fun. Oh, playing tricky in the bar. Playing pool.
Probably the most funniest one that I've had was probably getting into your change.
I wondered if you'd bring that one up.
Yep, had to.
That's the one that we all remember anyway.
Okay, my earliest memory was definitely when we wrecked on that scooter. I remember it like it was yesterday. I really do. I just remember driving around on the scooter with you all the time because you'd have me stand up on the flat part and you'd drive me around, so.
I just guess I remember how focused you always were and wanting to do your best, and it showed in your schoolwork and everything you did. I always appreciated that you cared about Grandpa and me.
All the random stuff we did.
Oh man, just Tate in high school, and that just rushes back a whole bunch of memories. So
I would say like beginning of freshman year, I think that's when we had rock band. And we stay up to like 4 a.m. playing rock band. And that was back when you had your Air Force hat, I think.
I look back at pictures of my I Love Bikinis hat and I'm like, I can't believe people let me wear that.
I forgot about that one.
I mean, because this is a video, I thought about the videos we made. The bongos underneath Ryan's shirt.
Oh wow.
What was the song that you, me, and Jordan made?
Oh, I Go Blind.
Yeah, I Go Blind. But really most of the memories are more like just evenings in high school, driving around in Tate's Jeep, jamming to music, talking about girls, talking about life, talking about whatever. Driving out to Jill's most of the time, too. Before you were 16, driving out to Jill's all the time.
That's right.
Even if I was 16 and yet you were 15 and you were driving out to Jill's.
Well, I'll start in the year 2010. That was when Tate and I first met. Of course, in the Pledge Wing at Beta.
Earliest memory is probably going to be coming home from house parties in the Coho. The biggest thing was us waking up in the morning and then knowing that you wouldn't wake up till like 3 o'clock.
I don't know if I have a single memory because I feel like there were just so many like one-liners and things that you would do and say. But I remember like when you would say "you" and then
and I would put my trucks on your face.
yeah, trucks on the face.
You know, Tate, you basically being a part of every significant college memory I have for the most part.
Yeah, I remember Tate definitely being the guy with some swagger and confidence around the house.
Nice.
Definitely a guy who enjoyed going out, meeting people. Good, fun dude for sure. But yeah, never really gave the impression of wanting to settle down anytime soon either. Definitely looking to live up the college days, which, hey, I don't blame you.
The kissing booth at Halloween.
Oh, that's awesome. Yes.
That's one of my early memories of you, Tate.
Honestly, just like every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Four Loko fueled blackout night. You know, before the blackout ensued on the second or third Four Loko.
Oh, just that you were never like really, and you still really aren't like worried about anything. Nothing really razzles you. But you definitely like get your shit done and study hard. But you definitely go with the flow. Very chill. My first impression was very chill guy. Easy to be around. Yeah, a lot of fun too.
A lot of student government stuff early. Going to parties, sitting in the back office of ASUN with Artie and Cast and Blake and Walter. and just laughing and joking, and especially for a kid coming from not Nebraska, who felt like everyone in Nebraska knew each other. Tate was you were a big part of making me be like, okay, I made the right choice coming here.
Oh yeah, so for me, was living with you, Tate, in the North Bottoms, very, very fancy house, hosting the occasional party, but I guess if my memory's correct, we didn't do that all that often, but always had good times on weekends, enjoyed just watching TV in the dark, dingy front room, eating canes together. I would say that would be the pre-Rachel days there.
Both my memories of Tate and Rachel from the beginning have to do with late nights. For Rachel, it was just that she was such a hard worker, and she was always pulling late nights at the architecture school, and we were bringing her food. And for Tate, it was always staying up late going to Cane's because he didn't like whatever was being served at Beta. So we were going to Cane's for late night. So late nights for both.
Raising Cane's chicken fingers was pretty much the only meal.
My earliest memory of Tate is coming to the Beta house and you have Raising Cane's. And they told me all you eat is Raising Cane's, nothing else.
College days, we tried to introduce you to Carney, and it failed miserably every single time when you came to us. And so I think we ended up cutting that short after 3 tries. I would visit Lincoln at least once a year for sure. One being the time when I first met Rachel, and then just the fun downtown bars in Lincoln. That was the extent of it, since obviously we were a couple 100 miles away. But
So basically when we went to college, neither of us really drank in high school. And then after that first year, I'm like, oh shit, Tate's in a frat. I bet he drinks a ton. And basically every time I hung out with you, we basically affirmed that.
Yeah.
Most of my drunker nights were with you. I have some pretty fond or not so fond memories of drinking at your dad's house.
Yep.
And getting very wasted.
But no, I think I got to see just about every place you lived in. Because then you and Kevin had a house, and definitely I know Rachel was there at that point. Obviously, because that was senior year. And then, had a couple fun nights in that house as well.
We were going to play in a scramble, and Kevin Broderson remembered that I like to play golf. And so I was sitting like a row in front of Kevin and Tate, and Kevin says, "Who's that other kid that says he likes to play golf?" And I was like, "That was me." And then we got signed up, and then we became buddies. I was like right there when you guys were talking about it. I'm like, are they gonna ask me?
I must have talked to you at one point too, because I remember us kind of sitting there, and I was like, I think we want to be that kid's friend too, but I don't know. I don't know much about him. And then the whole the golf thing just was like the perfect way to set it all up.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then flash forward to a week ago, golfing with your guys' daughter.
Yeah.
It's all about golf.
It's all about golf and daughters and
playing.
Yep.
But I don't know, obviously Tate wasn't there very often first year. So he's somewhat of a legend because he would sleep in a lot, not come to class all the time.
Just never come into class. And then when we did finally get a glimpse of Tate, I remember, I think it was me and Ben, we were like, oh, he's fun. He's pretty cool. I wish he came around more. And then we got to hang out with him more and just clicked.
But always just super happy-go-lucky, fun. And I feel like it was second year where we kind of started solidifying the crew. And so with Sarah and then Tate and Kevin, that's really when I got to know Rachel better. Would have just been whether it's Husker tailgates or dental events or just hanging out. It's kind of that year, and then third and fourth year too. Lots of times at Idlewild. And I wish I had better stories of that, but I was usually the one falling asleep when all the funny stuff was happening. I just couldn't do it. I'd just fall asleep on the couch while Kevin and Tate were just being hilarious, and Rachel and Nicole and whoever else was there. Mystery shots was fun.
That was a good night.
The sign a number, and then you'd get what you rolled. That was always a good time. So, Kenny Chesney concert in 2016 / Memorial Day. That was really, those 2 trips were really fun. Crying in the parking lot of Airhead will always, maybe the one time Tate's actually been mad at me.
I remember in dental school, Halloween, Rachel and I were dressed as Salt and Pepper. And we walked into the bar, and you guys were already on stage, and you were singing Rich Girl.
Oh, nice.
The 2 of you and Rachel.
I don't even know what that bar was called, but it was like that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It was like Randy's place or something.
Randy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember looking at Rachel, and I was like, well, they're way ahead of us. They're already on stage.
Right.
Outside of the drinking, you were just like the friend that was like, okay, you're going through the same shit as me. You have the same background as me. Like, holy cow, this is like stressful. And I don't know, whatever from that standpoint. So that was always kind of good. It was someone outside of UNK, had grown up in that system. So it was always kind of good just to like
chat about the crap that we were going through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that carried off into professional school too. So.
Oh, big time. And then even beyond that to today.
Hey, man, I got 3 kids. Let's go. I'm waiting to hear some of your struggles here, because I feel like it's always been me. So.
Well, you did great. I'm really proud of you. What was her dating life like from your point of view before I came along? What was her dating life like before me from your point of view? This is kind of a fun one. What was her dating life like before me from your point of view, if you remember?
Oh.
Wowie.
Man,
Where to
I don't
begin?
know. I've seen them all, you know, so.
Oh, way different. I gotta tag along anywhere, be included in everything. And I don't know, it just seemed casual.
Well, I wasn't so involved, but my thing was I had a sense of protection. I wanted to protect her, and so, from indirectly, I was concerned about who she was with and the designs that these young men had. She would bring dates around, I think, very carefully, and by and large, she was around young men that I thought were very nice. Guys that I knew their families and I felt pretty comfortable with.
Yeah.
So, without elaborating a whole lot more, her mother might have another word or two on that.
I feel like I just remember all these guys always being in love with her, and she never was that interested, like didn't seem that impressed with anybody, and they would like bring her, I don't know, cakes and flowers and just like, obsessed with her, and she just was like, meh, like not that into it.
There was a long line of suitors that just were after Rachel, and they would come to me even and just like, I don't know, she doesn't seem to really be into me. What do you think? I mean, they were asking me. I don't know why.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. She just was like, played it pretty cool, always very cool, and never seemed to be really in love or, so.
Well, Teresa kind of piped in the background. She's, I think she dumped a lot of guys.
So my point of view of Rachel's dating life was that there was always a new guy. So it was like, it was one of those like ongoing jokes, like, oh, another family gathering, another one of Rachel's guys.
Because we were always pretty tough on Rachel's boyfriends. But I remember one specifically was an umpire that Joe and I had playing baseball growing up.
Oh, that's super random.
His name was Toby.
Oh.
And he, one time he gave me a Snickers during a baseball game when he was my umpire. So he was pretty good. But Tate definitely tops them all.
First, I think real boyfriend, quintessential frat dude.
I remember.
He was, he was a nice enough guy, but I guess I was kind of hoping she wouldn't be, it wouldn't be a long-term sort of situation with him. But in the short term, it was great because I was underage and he was buying us alcohol. Yeah. Not really what I was hoping for. And her long-term partner, let's say.
Yeah.
Don't
It's really good to the guys that she didn't go out with anymore.
Yeah, so she did a real good job of being good buddies with those guys, even if they didn't go out anymore.
The whole like Italy thing, I was like, yeah, go, but it doesn't mean that.
That's right. Yeah, what was your perspective on that whole thing, if you remember?
Oh, I was totally like, go to Italy. Why not? It doesn't mean you have to marry him.
True.
And then leave it friendly and come back to the one that you do like.
She was technically dating him still when he was in Italy, and so she went and saw him, and I think then she was like, what do I do? And I think you were like, yeah, you gotta let that other guy go. He kind of sucks or something like that.
Yeah.
I was like, thank you.
I don't remember exactly I don't remember that conversation real specifically. I got the sense from her that, I kind of like this guy, but she was giving me the impression that she was more interested in you, and that was obvious to me.
Until you came around, it didn't seem like she really was that. Yeah, it wasn't a mutual.
And then you came along, and I was like, wait, she like really likes this one.
This one's
something's
going on. Yeah.
Well, I don't want to. I would just say you're obviously the best of them all. The best of them all for sure. The nicest.
Aww.
Sweetest to her. Just best fit overall.
What was my dating life like before Rachel, from your point of view?
Ooh.
Oh, I don't really remember you being a ladies' man that much, though.
Nice, thanks.
I don't remember much. I mean, I remember you just, having a lot of friends and stuff, but I don't really remember anybody past, like anybody that you really dated.
You didn't really have a lot of girlfriends that I remember. It was more of, I can only remember a few.
You had a lot of, friends and school was your life.
Really, my point of view is you really didn't date a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, you really didn't. I mean, you had a group of friends and you all ran around together, but nobody was really like dating, I don't think, at that point. I think dating for your friendship group came later and stuff like that. There were only very few, and those were just really, I think they ended up being good friendships. A couple ended up being married, but it was basically good friendships.
The only real memory I have of your dating life was one police incident, and that's about it.
There was, I think, one girl, and that was it. But you were friends with everybody.
Thank you. That's accurate.
You either, I mean, as far as dating, you didn't date a whole lot, but you, I think, you were the liaison of other people starting to date for sure.
Oh my God, that's true.
You were more of a flirt in high school, and I was more of the long-term serious relationships, I think.
Yeah, that's true.
But you were, I don't know, because of that, I feel like you were the one that pushed me into different relationships or tried to tell me to get out of certain relationships.
Tate he was good with the ladies, but he never was like a player, so to speak, but like a silent killer maybe, where you're like, I think Tate's got something going on there. He's good with the ladies. I think the ladies like him.
I just thought that you were going to be like Deuce Bigelow, Gigolo type guy, traveling the world, because you were such a, ladies man that I never thought you were going to settle down, to be honest.
I would say, well, first of all, I mean, you were always good with the ladies, always chatty with them.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, you had a good time, and
am I allowed to reference Cast's roommate?
I'm surprised that she didn't. She chose not to.
I don't think I'll bring that up here. It feels not right.
But I do, like, the earliest memory, I just remember you and Zach Coppersmith being very competitive about your dating and your conquest.
No, I remember you being more of like just fun, not like the guy who was hell bent on finding a girlfriend or whatever. Like I always remember you as someone who was committed to having a good time and weren't like, you weren't being pulled in any other direction. For that sort of thing. At least early on in college.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know as much about, like, I never saw you with a girl in college until Rachel.
Yeah.
There's more like talk about girls and stuff, but nothing serious. That's why when I finally met Rachel, or I heard you talking about her all the time, I'm like, oh boy, okay, he is smitten.
Yeah, it was just kind of very sporadic. I don't know. Nothing stuck.
That's true.
I mean, there was a few suitors, but none of them really hit home like she did.
What I remember most was the search for your, I think was it formal, right? Or was it the maybe the boat formal? I don't remember which one it was, but it was when we were living in the house together.
Yep.
And you were searching for a formal date for I don't know, weeks probably, and every day there was a whole house gathered, and it was like, all right, Tate, you found someone yet? And you're like, nope, not yet. And eventually you found Rachel, which turned out I don't know if you expected to find your wife, but that's pretty awesome that you did.
I also remember that I think you really liked Rachel, or you thought you liked Rachel, but you didn't really know Rachel, but you were intimidated by just how nice and kind and beautiful she is. And it probably, I wonder with Blake's story, it probably just took you a lot of time to work up the courage to talk to her and ask her to that formal. And so I think I remember that and being part of kind of that story as well.
I feel like you were always very social, and so, I mean, you just would talk to lots of people. That was before Rachel, though, definitely, because things change very quickly, and I'm sure we'll get to that in a different session.
What was your first impression of Rachel, and do you remember the first time you met her?
What was your first impression of Rachel, and do you remember where or when you first met her?
I think I didn't meet her before I never met her before you guys started dating, so I met her because you guys started dating each other, so yeah.
Yeah. Bottoms, I believe, at a party. I think is when I would have met Rachel.
She went to high school in Lincoln like me, but we didn't meet in high school to my recollection. We were doing some volunteering thing for the big event, I think it was, and we were installing smoke alarms or something in some low-income housing, and I think we got like paired in the same group, and I remember meeting her there.
It had to have been like a DG beta, party.
And then Rachel had her brother, who's a beta.
Yep.
And so I remember that Cognac shown.
And I met Rachel at Park House, believe it or not.
Oh.
I remember, she was just standing on the edge of the counter, and she knew you, but everyone else, I knew everyone else, but she was the one, the new guest, I guess.
Lady.
Yeah.
And I the first time we met would have been, oh my gosh, where was it? I want to say it was in Lincoln. I think I came down to Lincoln with Whitney Alberry and Aaron Bebout, and it was when you were in those little condo apartments downtown Lincoln.
That's right.
We stayed the night there because we were watching a Husker game.
I remember exactly where and when I met Rachel. I was with your grandmother. It was in the Park House garage on a Husker football Saturday, and we had just gotten out of our vehicles, and here came your Jeep, and Rachel was in the vehicle with you. And we both thought, wow, that's a pretty girl. I wonder if he's dating her. Well, he must be. It's Saturday morning, and they're just leaving his apartment. I don't think I'll talk about that to Grandma anymore.
The first time I met Rachel, was in the Larson parking garage in Lincoln, Nebraska. Steve and I were going to a football game and had just parked our cars. We're walking to the elevator, and around the corner came Tate and a girl in his car. And we went, oh, look.
That is so funny.
Tate stopped, of course, and introduced us to Rachel, and we were very impressed.
Well, I kind of met her nonchalantly in a sense, but I'll never forget her face. And her hat that she was wearing. You know, your mom. I have a photographic memory, kind of like you do too.
I forgot about this.
Where you get it, but I can remember almost what she was wearing. But to me, that's kind of my first meeting with her without meeting her because of the situation. You told me what it was all about, so I feel like I was instrumental. Like I said, I've always said that, telling you to call her and go talk to her. But that's my first initial.
Yeah.
And then when I met her, I felt like I already knew her because I knew the story behind things.
I remember you bring her back here, and my first impression was just like she was just real quiet and sweet and very beautiful.
So my first impression of Rachel was she was very sweet and nice. So I was like, what is she doing in this, trying to be a part of this family?
Nice. So true.
And I was just like, well, she's in for a whirlwind. So
Yeah.
Yeah, she was really nice. Really nice and really quiet.
Too quiet for you.
I do remember thinking she was obviously a little more quiet at first, but as am I. So, but it opens up obviously as you get to know her. So
Yeah.
I just think she was like so sweet, and so so kind.
Yeah.
Sweet. Yes. Sweet and friendly, I'd say.
I was impressed. I thought she was a fine young lady.
She was actually pretty cool. I thought she was like a really good fit for you.
But no, Rachel was just really nice, very pretty, super chill, very chill. But always enjoyed having her around for sure.
My first impressions of Rachel, I remember for sure. She was just like a soft-spoken, very nice, sweet girl, cute girl. That was just very pleasant and nice to be around for sure.
She was a keeper. She had the full package. Super smart, super funny, kind, beautiful. Just exactly what Tate was looking for.
One of them that jumps out is I remember on a party bus to the small town bars, and Rachel was just a great time, and I was like, all right, that's a fun girl. I'm gonna hang out with her.
But I feel like I just remember her being so sweet, just so welcoming, so nice. You always get a little nervous about meeting a guy that you met's girlfriend or whatnot, and literally she couldn't be more open and welcoming, and she was just part of us right away.
I don't know. So I guess I'm trying to figure out if my first impressions were actually from me when she came to Carney, or hearsay from the rest of the Carney crew.
Yeah, first impression of Rachel was good job, Tate. Very proud of you.
She's a very intelligent girl. Awful attractive. Hope he doesn't fuck this up.
Yeah, you were super giddy. I remember, and you were just happy.
Yeah. I remember you and Matt were just this is for real, man. She's a real person.
I was like, get your shit together, Tate. Don't fuck this up.
I remember her just kind of standing out, I think it was at a party house, with her group of friends, just being chill, just easy to talk to. Just someone that you could tell, is probably well liked, probably easy to hang with.
What was your first impression of Rachel? Did you have one?
No.
No? You didn't have a first impression?
No.
After thinking about it and how much of a bookworm and how you are good at finding time for yourself, I started to realize that that's gonna work out. It's she has a good heart. She's a genuine person, and I know you are too, deep down, too. So it's it just was a good match. Just with your personalities, how you guys think through situations and problems. Obviously her career in architecture and the way she thinks and with the way you handle situations is a good mix. It wasn't the same. It's not the same process, but it pairs pretty well.
From my perspective, it seemed like you two were like super tight, like really quick, and all of a sudden, like once you two were like a thing, like you were a thing for sure. Just like always hanging around. You know, Rachel was always around the Beta House, walking through the halls. Like, you know, I remember just kind of her not really changing from how she, like my initial impressions of her. You know, just super nice, sweet girl. Like, hey, how's it going? You know, that type of thing. But yeah, I remember you two being real tight. Yeah.
I remember I was like, Kate is obsessed with her. I was like, I can just tell. And she was just like so stunningly beautiful, I remember. And you were just like, look at her. And I'm like, yes, I know. And she was just so like unaware. She was just like, oh, you know, Kate's beautiful. She was just so cute and sweet.
Yep.
But I think the general impression was like, oh, Tate's different. Like, yes, they talked about Rachel, and I don't know if they thought like Rachel was more. I don't know if they thought she was quieter than she would have been. But all I remember, the big takeaway that I remember, and this has happened multiple times with other friends, it's like, oh no, Tate's acting differently right now. Like, oh, he's trying to impress her. I don't like. We didn't exactly know what it was, but it was not Tate coming to the Carney to blow off steam for sure. And even I think you came once when you were dating her, and I had that impression too.
Going right off of that one, what was your first impression of me, and if you remember where we first met? Your first impression of me, and if you remember where we first met. Pressure's on.
Gosh, it feels like 10 years ago? Is that what you said?
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Oh my God. That is crazy.
It's like 3 lives ago.
It was 3 lives ago.
I had heard about you for a long time.
I don't remember.
I don't either for sure.
First time we met you, I don't remember.
Do you remember the first time we met? Because that might help me. That just came at a time in my life when there was a lot of alcohol going on, a lot of events, meeting a lot of new people.
So true.
It was at some event, like a holiday or.
I honestly don't know for sure.
Like
Oh
Thanksgiving.
yeah, was it in Nebraska? Is it in Nebraska?
Yes.
Yeah, actually, I think that's right.
I feel like the first time I met you was probably had to be at some sort of family-esque function, dinner, like maybe not even at the landing, you know?
Probably at the landing. I wonder if it was either was at a Rush event or party, because I don't think Rachel introduced me to you.
Yeah, Andrew, we were at the college in Andrew's dorm, and Tate came by.
In the sorority? Or the fraternity?
Yeah.
Well, Teresa thinks it was over at the Beta House.
I was the one that told you that Rachel didn't have any boyfriends.
Yeah, I think that was it, Rachel. Yeah, Teresa's, it was a function, maybe at the Beta House.
Oh, wow.
And would you have been?
Yeah, I would have been a senior that year.
Yeah, I think that was it. We had a table, and you knew Andrew a little bit already, and you came over to our table. I think that might have been it. Yeah, we thought Rachel wasn't dating anybody or something like that. Yeah,
That's
Teresa's
funny.
a pretty good memory.
That could be it. I was thinking it was she brought me over to the old house to show me it one time that fall, and it was right when you were in the thick of packing, and I thought that was maybe it because I remembered talking to you guys, but
That would have been pretty early too. I'm thinking Teresa might be right. The Beta House might have come first.
I think we met in your apartment.
that sounds right.
And then we went out.
I think I remember that. I remember like her making a big deal, like, this is my best friend.
Yeah.
Like, you have to do good.
I think I hung out a bit with Rachel and Emily before you guys were dating. Yeah, at a couple of like underage parties.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't have a ton of memories before I would say like my biggest memory is the chipped tooth night. You guys were dating, but I didn't know you yet.
Oh my God, is that true? Wow.
I don't have a memory of you before that.
Not a shining moment for me.
We talked about it at my bachelorette party. You were not able to come, if you remember.
Oh, I definitely remember.
Right away.
Oh, I'll never live it down.
No, literally never live it down. I remember wondering if you were like a bad boy, which knowing you now is like not the case. But I knew what fraternity you were in, so I was like, he must be like a smart bad boy.
Which is a cool thing. I wish that was really what I was like, because that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, because I was like, wow, I can't believe he couldn't come to be at your side. It did come up later.
Yeah. Oh, it's come up many times, don't worry. Yeah. Do you remember where we first met? Because I actually do remember. I've been asking everybody and I almost never remember, but we went to lunch at that like weird kind of random shop, like little cafe shop in the Haymarket, where it's like where the rail yard is, you know, kind of by PBA. We got lunch with you at like a crepe place because she was like, oh, my mom loves French stuff and crepes, and I was like, okay, cool, whatever. And we got there and I was so nervous because I was like, I have to do so good. And I think it went really well, if I remember right.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, when I think of Tate, I just have to give him a ton of credit, because anybody who comes into this family and they're inserted into any of the big events, whether it's the 4th of July or whether it's the Christmas or whether it's the Easter or the reunion, it's a lot of pressure on anybody coming into this family. And Tate just fit right in seamlessly with that whole group of kids. He was able to withstand all of the teasing that came from the males.
So my first impression of Tate was right after I watched The Hobbit, and I was like, okay, no one would really live in the Shire. But then I saw Tate and I was like, this guy could probably live in the Shire.
I did warn Tate that if he messed with Rachel and hurt her in any way, that they would not find Tate's body. But
and just has done just great, and we all love him because of it. So
we're getting to like Tate quite a bit. He's fit into the family. He's able to kind of fit into this crazy nut reunions that we have. But all in all, Tate's a good guy and will continue to be a good guy. And he's a very good dad.
The first time we met Tate, I think, if I'm correct, was at a Christmas at Grandma and Grandpa's house in Seward, Nebraska. I mean, best Christmases ever. But our family plays Scrooge a lot, and we tried to introduce Tate to the game of Scrooge, and I just remember absolutely crushing him in the game.
Becca wins everything. The great thing about Tate was that he could take it. You know, he put up with us.
He did.
And he kept playing.
Yes.
And, you know, he even eventually let us visit them in New York together. So,
which one of my favorite trips till this day. So
all around top-notch guy.
Top
did good, Rach.
But I do remember the impression was that you seemed more mature than Max McKillop, let's say.
Nice.
Yeah.
That feels good to hear.
Smarter. It's, I guess, maybe seemed like you had read a few books, maybe.
My impression was that you were a mellow dude and understated.
That's a good word.
Well, understated. And that mellow and understated, but there was something going on in your head. Like, smarts.
Well, we did notice that you were very attentive to her. In fact, you would just follow her from room to room, never let her out of your sight.
My first impression was that you got a similar like gentleness that Rachel does, that I think is really complimentary.
and just your goofiness. I wasn't really expecting it, but perfect, because Rachel just is laughing all the time, and you can kind of be in that goofy space.
First impression, general sense of you is always that you're very goofy and you like to laugh, which was nice because I feel like that's an easy person to get along with. And you like to whistle.
So true. To my detriment.
I remember thinking you were a really nice guy.
Yeah.
And a lot of fun. I always liked that because you're always like dancing to the music and kind of, I guess, animated, kind of gregarious. And I thought that was a good thing for Rachel. Kind of bring her out of her shell a little bit.
We felt good about you right away, Tate. I mean, we didn't know your family or anything. That was always a big deal to us, you know, the families and where these guys were coming from. And
Yeah.
But you know, Andrew knew you were very involved down there and working on school, so we felt pretty good right away, Tate.
Yeah.
What I remember about Tate is just the way Rachel interacted with all of us around Tate, which was just more natural, and I think it just was just a perfect fit. So that was easy to tell right away.
I think, you know, like I said, you're a lot different than the other guys she had dated and a lot better for her. And so I think that was kind of the first impression, was like, oh, this one is not quite like the rest have been. So I think it was more just, you know, a lot easier, a nice ease about both of you. Yeah, just that you guys were very natural together, and it just made sense. And obviously, since Rachel it was a mutual thing, that was a big deal.
That's true.
You're the one she brought around, so that said a lot, I think.
First impressions of us as a couple in those early days. First impressions of us or memories in those early days as a couple. First impression or memories of us as a couple in those early days.
I thought you would make a fine couple. I really did. I had no idea when you were going to get married or whatever, but I thought you would make a fine couple.
All the initial interactions with her around us, we would just talk shit about you all the time, and then she would just giggle and laugh. No, her laugh though is pretty like her giggle is pretty funny. Like it's good. I like it.
We both like to read.
Yeah. That's what Abe said too.
Yeah. I remember that was like a thing. Like you found the girl that likes to read as much as you do.
Yeah, I remember that too, because you guys had that book. You guys were reading you had a book challenge or whatever.
Oh, that's right.
You had the list of books, and you guys were like always reading all the time.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I wasn't gonna say necessarily reading, but like just like alignment of all things, like just similar, like just very similar as people, just similar interests in general. So
yeah,
we're gonna need a lot of heavy editing.
Do we have the boom mic? Can we get the mic in here? Boom. What's a boom mic? No.
And yeah, I would say after you had finally found your formal date, being Rachel, you were clearly like, you really liked her, obviously. You started having her over, we'd get back from class or a party or something, and you and her would be hanging out on the couch watching a movie or something. And I think all the guys in the house realized that you guys had something special going on.
Well, I think probably my first memories of you guys as a couple was more like when we all lived together at Park House. And basically she was just another roommate. And you would lock each other in your room for a long time. And initially I was sad because I got to see Tate less, but we made sure we all got quality time together too. I was okay at third wheeling for a while.
Yeah, I feel like I didn't really know you as a couple too much in college. I feel like you guys were in your love bubble, and you were off doing your own things. But I remember after college going to a wedding, and you guys were there, and just thinking how much fun and balanced you were as a couple, that you completed each other.
Yeah. Well, no, but I remember seeing it, maybe on, social media or something, and just remember being such, like really happy, like in those one of those ways where that Venn diagram of people pretty well, really well and pretty well, from kind of different parts of your life, to people who really well, and they get together and start dating. I always thought that was really, really cool.
I thought that you guys seemed to be very compatible. Neither of you got extremely emotional either way. It seemed like an even kill kind of relationship, but you guys had fun. You like to go on adventures, I could tell. It seemed like a chill, healthy, but just kind of a fun relationship. But you guys both seemed to kind of vibe and very similar.
The early days, well, I feel like I really got to know you guys once you came on a couple of my party buses.
Mm-hmm.
And we hung out as a group.
Probably I have more dental school memories
that's true, 'cause
of
we
you
actually lived
guys.
together.
Yeah, not only us, but you and Rachel. Probably more. Those are more fresh in my mind too, because they're more recent.
Yeah.
But yeah, just again, Rachel pretty much lived with us and was a roommate. Very welcomed. I just remember all of us hanging out in that grimy living room, and almost every weekend we would kind of be where everyone would congregate.
Yeah.
Including other dental students like Ben and Sarah and all them would come over.
But I don't know, I recall that I think I had the sensation that, you two are both gentle humans, and I think that there was that complementing of your personalities with each other. Neither of you are ever loud.
I mean, I don't know.
I feel like maybe some of the first would be you going to Seward, for instance, and meeting the family, which is always really hard if you're a boyfriend new to the family, meeting all those uncles, especially someone like Uncle Jack.
Yeah, you have
very daunting.
Yeah, you just kind of have to swallow your pride, and I remember you did that in a great way. I was really impressed, oh man, this is gonna be tough, and you just kind of took it in stride, and that was a good sign for you.
It was very scary.
It was
territory.
way harder for you than it was for me.
Oh yeah.
Rachel they care more about Rachel protecting her than you, probably.
Oh man, 100%. So much.
You guys definitely were very into each other, and it just was really sweet to see. I think that, you were very accommodating to her, and she was to you, and I think it was really sweet. She wanted to be a part of the family.
Are you getting choked up?
I am.
That's nice. I know, I'm obnoxiously cute over here sometimes.
I absolutely knew when I met Rachel that she was the one. And I knew she was the one for you because I saw how you were around her. I saw your face. I saw how your eyes would meet. I just knew that she was going to be the one.
I remember her being a student and being pretty tired, kind of stressed, and you were like this kind of calming presence around her and super supportive, which is exactly what I would want for her.
Yeah, so, that makes sense. She was stressed.
Yeah, you were taking care of her, and I could see that.
In the early days, I mean, just like I said, I was around you a few times in college, and I just never seen you so connected with somebody, and always wanting to be around them, and you definitely had her best interest every second of every day, as long as I was around. I mean, that was always your first worry is Rachel good? What's Rachel doing? Right, honey? Just stuff like that. So, no, it was just genuine. I was just always came back, and that always popped in my head once in a while, and I was super happy for you.
I remember the first time you had was it when we lived in the Bottoms? Is that when you guys started talking? Or was it before that?
Yeah, in the Bottoms house.
I remember the Bottoms house, you guys hung out one night, and then you came out of your room after she left, and you were just like that glow,
Mm-hmm.
Like the glow of like, wow, like she like has my heart type of deal. You know what I mean? Like, wow, this girl's gonna change my life type of deal. You didn't even say it, but you could see it on your body language and your face and all that stuff. It was a pretty special moment.
I mean, I think the same thing. Like, Tate was just like, I could just see, like, Tate was just so starry-eyed and in love. That's like all I kind of remember is like, I was like, oh, this girl's it. Like, Tate was just like starry, like, I don't know, he was just different, but not different as to like who he was. Just like you could tell, like, really adored Rachel and like who she was as a person, and we all did when we met her.
She kept you level. I remember that. I think it was probably more, it was as much her as it was the severe hangovers you had, but I think you really leveled out after you started dating Rachel.
Yes.
You were always still down to clown, but I think the partying really got set aside once you found somebody like her.
Yeah, you have to pace yourself.
She brings out the best in you.
You were always, well, like, what stands out about you, Tate, is you're always, like, putting Rachel, you know, her needs are number one, which I always noticed. And you were always, like, wanting to make sure she was happy or content in whatever she was doing. And you guys seemed very low maintenance as a couple. Like, it didn't ever feel like you guys, I mean, I know it takes work, but it didn't seem like, you know, it took a lot of effort for you guys to be together, which was always sweet to see.
Just really fun. Yeah, you guys were good to be around. You were always up for anything. Yeah, I definitely felt like you didn't dampen her. She just was like more happy with you.
Yay.
Yeah.
Good answer. I hope so. She's still here, so I know I've done something right.
Just a very good match. Both very artistic, both very into each other, but not in a weird way. Not like in a, that's like, I don't mean it like that. It's just like, oh wow, that just like fits really well. So Rachel and Nate are gonna be around, and that was my main kind of takeaway. And Rachel's just always very quiet and very sweet, and put up with us and our not quietness and not always sweetness, but.
Okay, so I actually knew both of you separately before you like started dating.
That is true.
And I remember thinking when you started dating, I was like, okay. And then I saw you guys together. I remember seeing you guys together and being like, okay, this makes a lot of sense to me and it's cute to me. So that was basically it. It was just like, oh, okay. And then it fit, and it felt like it fit fast. Like, once it happened, we were all kind of like, okay, this is like, she feels very happy here.
It was exciting for me to watch you progress through your different courting rituals with the house and all. The pinning was really, I thought that was really a neat video for me to get to see. Watching that type of stuff, I thought that was really interesting. That was pretty cool.
Any memories from our pinning?
I honestly don't know if I remember it.
I don't think anybody does. Did you come to our pinning like party after we got pinned? Do you know?
I think I did, but I don't remember that far back, honestly.
God, man, this is so crazy because that would have been, that's almost 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Or is it 10 years ago?
That was 9.5 years ago.
Kevin had a great speech. I just remember Kevin's speech being really funny and all of us laughing.
Just good ones. I mean, like, I felt like your guys' pinning was so fun. Like, I just remember, like, there were so many people on both sides. I think just, like, a testament to, like, how much people both like you guys as individuals and then now as a couple. But I just remember, like, I just remember that a lot of people being there and having a lot of fun, so.
Yes!
Hey!
No!
No,
thank you. Kevin's was like bringing up canes. I think like 3 times was kind of the crux of the entire speech.
I actually dug up the speech. I still have my notes written, and I don't know how well it's aged, but I do remember giving it, and it was fun. I was very honored to be able to talk.
I'm pretty sure it had one recurring theme.
Yeah. And here we are.
And we've come full
where
circle.
It all began.
10 years later.
I remember I said the wrong word in my speech.
Oh, that's right.
I said I was the sister.
You said you're Rachel's sister.
Brother. Yeah. That's what I remember.
Hanging at DG, what did we sing?
We sang, what's that Ashanti song? And then the Bismarcky, Just a Friend.
You got what I need.
Yeah, okay. I remember that.
Yeah.
Now that you remind me.
Just a Friend.
Yeah. That sounds familiar.
Wait, where was it?
We obviously came to DG, but then we did the party at the Spigot, if you remember that bar.
We got kegs at
Oh, the Spigot.
Now, you were at the Spigot, weren't you, or no?
Oh, yeah.
Because we did Spigot, because I did Spigot.
Yeah. And then we went to the Spigot, and all the freshmen and sophomores came and got kicked out.
Okay, yeah, I remember that.
That was the main.
Good old Randy.
It sounds like a good bar.
It was a great bar.
Was there like a little baby stage?
Yes,
No?
in the back.
Yeah. I remember that part. I think
That's the part I don't remember.
I enjoyed Pinnings maybe more than I should have, and so that's probably why I don't remember.
Yeah, I think that's where we're all in the same boat. They all bled together, and it was all very like, I'm not gonna remember this tomorrow anyway type of vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
Especially when you're like, oh God, that was a long time ago.
That was a long time ago.
She just kept saying, "This is a big deal. This is a big thing."
That's true.
And I was like, "It is. Yeah, this is big."
That's funny. When did you know it was serious?
When you started dating her?
I think it was apparent being around you guys the first time because you guys just had that look to each other.
Probably like the second time I saw you guys together. To be really honest with you. Maybe after the fifth time that I saw you guys watching a movie together in the house.
I feel like I knew right away. It's like, he's not letting her go.
Just because you didn't date a whole lot of girls. Then we started seeing you guys at weddings and stuff, and I thought, probably it.
When you decided to start a whole book competition with her or whatever.
Yeah.
I guess when it just kept going and going.
When Tate pinned her in college.
Yeah, we knew it was pretty much a done deal about then.
Well, pretty early in the game, it was pretty obvious that you were hooked. Rachel was just so cool about it, but we knew that under the surface there were a lot of things going on.
Well, she sure didn't tell me, because she didn't tell me anything.
Oh, really?
Oh, no, she doesn't.
Doesn't let anything
very
go.
Much about her personal life. She did tell me that I really liked this guy, and I remember that. It was maybe serious.
Well, since you two were so quiet about everything, I don't know if we really knew how serious it was till it was actually really, really, really serious. That you were officially dating and stuff. I think you called me or something one time we were talking. You said you were officially dating and stuff like that. And then I just knew as it grew, each year, I knew that there was going to be a wedding.
It just seemed like, you started bringing her out for holidays. So
yeah,
that was my clue.
I'm going to be honest. When you first introduced us, I immediately knew it was serious because I could just... It's like we all could tell that there was something special about your guys' relationship. And you could just tell how happy you were and how, just how you wanted, you just know.
And I think there's just a reason why. I'm not saying you were super picky, which maybe you were, but that's a good thing. But like in high school and like the early days of college, like there was just, I don't know, you never tried to like force anything or like really go after a girl. Like once you realized like it wasn't going to work, I feel like you just aborted. And obviously to have a girlfriend in college where sometimes that's not the most sought out thing, and you landed one, and I was like, yeah, if Tate likes her, he likes her.
I felt like after it was like, and it's I guess there wasn't really a moment for me, but like once it got like long term, kind of like knowing like kind of like what I said earlier about you, Tate. Once it was long term, I was like, okay, yeah, this is for real.
Basically knew like as soon as we started talking, and I was like, this will end when she calls it. I will never end this.
Your behavior was different with Rachel than the others.
It's like noticeable.
You were like more about impressing her, and the other ones you were more just about like having fun with your guy friends while they were there.
So you guys started dating senior year, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I just remember thinking like there were certain couples when we all graduated that it's like who's gonna stand the test of time versus not, and it was kind of just like I don't know. By the time I graduated, I was like, this is it.
And I remember like you just like being really like interested in getting to know her.
Yeah.
But I remember I'm not even making this up. I remember you saying like she was different compared to other girls, which is crazy. So
I feel like I remember us doing that.
Yeah.
Me telling you that.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can remember where we were. We were in the front room of the Bottoms, and it was just you and I.
Yeah.
But I remember like having that conversation. So I thought that was kind of cool.
At whose wedding? It was Tyler's or Barker's maybe. So you guys have been together, I think maybe 2 or 3 years at that point, but I could tell. And I think we had a drunken conversation about it, and then I was like, yep, that's the one for Tate.
Yeah, as it turns out, you were very intoxicated when I found out it was gonna be serious.
I forgot this was the story you were gonna tell.
Yeah, you told me that you had bought tickets to fly to France. I think it was. Which was good news. And then you also insisted that I come along as well. That was the kicker.
That's
that
funny.
Whole thing. But I knew you were serious when you wanted to go to France with her, I guess. Yeah.
That makes sense. That's funny. I wanted you to
The
go.
next day we had I think we had a little conversation about how that probably wasn't going to happen when I was going to France.
That sounds like a German conversation.
Yeah.
I think I remember you went on a big trip, and that was like, oh, okay. That kind of made me realize that it was serious, and that she brought you around, definitely. But did you go to Europe together?
Oh yeah, we did. We went to France before. We went and saw Beth there, and then
That was the one.
that's the one.
Yeah, that trip.
It's funny because it was like years before we were ready to be engaged, but we were at like the top of the Eiffel Tower with like champagne. I was like, oh crap, I'll never beat this like in the future. Like, that was the one, probably a little better, but
Emily and I actually had a lot of conversations about you guys, and she kind of knew and turned me on to the idea that you guys were serious pretty quickly. Like, she was like, I think this is her man. But then I knew once you guys, because you guys got engaged after college.
yeah, after like in the middle of dental school for me.
Yeah, but you didn't live together. Kind of knew that, like, because you didn't live together, which I think is an honorable thing, that you guys were going to be together. Like, it was just, it seemed natural, I guess, is the right way to put it. Pretty, like, soon after I feel like I met you guys, honestly.
I would say when you made it through optometry school, I'm the optometrist, dental school, and like for the first, we've been dating early college, you were still in the same place, and then making it through dental school, I would say, yeah, that was pretty, especially the first couple of years, because that can be tough.
Yeah, it's true. I don't think I would have gotten through without her, honestly.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I think like second year of school when we were hanging out more, like I just knew where you stood as far as like, yeah, this is it. Like we just got to figure out timing now.
I don't know. I think it was always serious. There was a reason you were nervous about asking her out to begin with, it's because I think, one, you were intimidated a little bit, but two, you knew once you did, that was going to be it. You know, if she said yes. And luckily she did.
I just remember her being so relaxed and easy about with each other. It was just like, well, of course. You know, there was no question or, you know, a hidden anxiety or like that. Just, yeah, you know.
Nice.
And it surprised me because for all the time I had known her, she was so quiet. So quiet and gentle and, you know, not very demonstrative. And then when you came along, she was out there a bit.
Oh,
you know?
that's cool.
More forward in her way of being, her affect, you know, and it was so relaxed. It was just as though it had always been that way, when in fact it was not.
Wow.
So you really brought forth that side of her, or that natural tendency that she's had. You really opened her heart, I think.
I remember, I think, talking to, you know, Josie, or just in conversations about you two, and maybe at one point, maybe Rach. I don't know any of this is true or anything. This is just what my mind remembers, or whatever. But maybe, like, Rachel wasn't, you two weren't sure where you stood, or in terms of, like, going beyond dating or whatever. I think I remember at one point the discussion was like, oh, like, I actually think so, like kind of waiting for Tate to propose and all this stuff.
At the beginning, I felt like it's definitely different, but we were still so young, so like, who knows? I didn't know. But then when you guys were starting to talk about marriage, and she was like, I don't know, that seems crazy, which in hindsight, like, of course we were still young, but she was like, he's for sure the one, just I don't know about right now. And I was like, oh, okay.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like Rachel's always like got very serious right away, but I think like when I would be like, you were getting married, is number one, that you had been talking about it, and that was a thing that she was not talking about with anybody else, and that it like kind of scared her. And not for a bad reason, but just like, I think she realized like it was gonna happen, you know. And so she was like, I can't think about that.
Yeah, she was definitely like that.
It's too much change. I can't think about it.
Yeah, it was a lot of me being like, I think this might happen, and I think she was a lot of like, let's wait, not yet, please, hold on, like, kind of, yeah, a little scared, which is funny.
Yeah, but not because she didn't want to.
Right.
But because she like just wasn't ready to deal with it.
I knew it was really game on when you started looking for a location to compete with a picture you took of the Eiffel Tower so you could propose. But actually I knew before, when you came to me and you wanted to start looking at a ring and you needed some help.
Yeah, that's so true. That was like the first.
And I had to be very, very quiet and couldn't tell anyone.
First reaction to the proposal. First reaction to the engagement.
We were thrilled. we were very excited. We were anxious and excited all at once.
Well, I knew it was coming. I just didn't know when it was going to come, because you were working so hard to beat that Eiffel Tower thing, and I don't know how you were going to do it. So
yeah, I remember you kind of kept it on the down low. I don't know if you really told a whole lot of people that you had it.
Yeah. You were, I think, the first person to even see the ring options. I think I texted you before anyone.
Ooh, yeah.
I was like, what the hell am I doing?
Exciting times, yeah.
By the end, I think everyone but her knew, but for a while, I had it
you
for
had
like
it for
8 months.
You had it a long time. I remember that before you popped the question. You were waiting for the right time.
We were waiting for it.
Yeah, because I remember, because you came up and asked me about it we were in Florida.
Yeah.
And I always remember that.
Oh, I'll never forget it.
I even remember kind of thinking about that even that night, because it took me a long time to fall asleep that night.
Same here. I probably didn't sleep the night before.
Yeah, maybe it was probably worse for you. But I remember being awake for quite a while thinking about that. It's like, oh, I should have said this or should have said that or what.
That's so funny. That's exactly how I feel.
Caught off guard, you know.
It was funny, and I tell people the story of it because I feel like it was a funny conversation just in general, because it was the only time I was ever gonna get you on your own, when she was in the shower and you were doing the dishes, and I was really trying to hype myself up. I was so nervous, and I walk in there and you were just scrubbing away, and I was just like, hey Steve, can I talk to you for a second? And I think you knew immediately, and you just stopped and you put the dishes down really slow.
Yeah, before I dropped the glass.
Yeah. Yeah, it was nerve-wracking, but you made it go well for me, so I appreciate that.
Oh, good. Well, I've never was the type of guy to like insist on cleaning shotguns and stuff around the house when boys would come over. My guys would always talk about that. Always be ready to get that shotgun out and start cleaning it.
I've always appreciated that. She's got enough uncles to do it for you.
Yeah, she kind of does.
Yeah.
I know those guys.
I think you were drunk one night and you were like, I'm gonna make her my wife.
Oh my God.
Where did you do it?
I did it in New York, yeah.
Okay.
But in the Airbnb, because I couldn't get her to go back out. It was like cold that weekend, so I just like impromptu put it all together in the random apartment we were staying in.
And you did it in New York City, and I think my memory of it is like you had some plan and it didn't go exactly how you wanted it to.
Super excited. I was anticipating, and then when you went to New York, I was like, it's probably gonna be now. So it just kept checking.
Just
my
waiting.
phone.
Well, Emily and I were very excited. Of course, we were very excited, and she, had been playing it very like, I'm not ready, and so we were like a little scared that like she was gonna panic.
Yeah, I'll remember I don't remember if it was spring break or like second spring break in dental school, and you said you guys are going to New York and you were gonna propose there. That was very exciting, and just kind of was perfect for you guys being in the city, and then go on to live there was pretty cool. So
I was so excited because I was like, I get to go to a wedding for the first time.
That's great.
So, and it was very nice to officially have her as a permanent part of the family. So
Yeah. What was your first reaction to her engagement to Tate?
It was, aha! Yeah, that was my reaction. Or like, yes! Or, I'm ecstatic. Or, aha!
Just smiled. Just smiled and happy, and it was like, also being in the family, it's also like, okay, not like it's about time, but it's like awesome, like cool,
Yeah.
like it's gonna be
We're
official,
rolling.
like it's gonna happen for real, it's not just like he said, she said, it's
Yeah,
like cool,
true.
like that's great,
Yeah.
like
I
they're
get to go to a wedding,
it's
sweet.
like it fills you with more happiness because it's like you get the sensation of cool, these two people are happy with this decision.
Oh, I was ecstatic. I thought that was great.
Yeah.
We always want the best
Yeah.
for our kids, the grandkids, and by that point, I thought she was a wonderful choice for you.
Yeah.
You guys you seem to like so many things, like hiking and going and traveling and things, and I thought that was good.
Well, we were happy about it. We all liked you, and we were happy that you guys were going to get married. We were happy that you were going to spend your life together.
I was excited because she was just perfect. She was perfect to be in our family and your wife, so I was really excited.
I remember you telling me, but I don't know when you heard.
I remember overall reaction was positive. I was a fan of yours at that point.
I remember you being excited.
This is all really just to keep hearing good things about myself. Is really what this whole thing is for.
Yeah, I didn't know it was that serious. I really had no idea it was that serious.
Oh, that makes so much more sense now.
And at the party, I was just thinking about her going to New York. She graduated. Now she's got to go to New York. Like, what's next for her? What's she gonna do? What's her next move? Is this the right thing?
Mm-hmm.
And so I was just very surprised because that's all I could really think about was like, oh, she's gonna go to New York, and now what's next?
Yeah.
So I was a little taken aback.
A whole different big curve ball.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that was not in my. And I'm a planner.
Yeah.
So that threw me for a little bit of a loop there.
That checks out a lot more now.
Yeah.
That is really funny.
Oh, I was thrilled. I was so excited. And just because knowing and meeting and knowing Rachel like I do, and then coming back, before the wedding and things like that, and just how you two would act around each other and stuff. I have to say, remember, I was a little concerned when you were moving to New York and she wasn't going, and I said, are you sure that... I was worried at one point she was going to break your heart. What did I say? I said, it is New York, and she's very, very pretty.
Oh.
Somebody might snatch her away.
I wouldn't have been surprised.
So, I was concerned, but I just knew that when you survived, New York and the COVID and everything too, and you were married, I could tell she had the same values and same sense of marriage and the value of marriage, so I didn't really have a concern. Never really have had a concern.
I felt like engagement was inevitable. Maybe I'm painting that with a broad brush, but I wasn't like surprised or anything like that.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
General happiness for you guys.
Yeah.
Oh, so it was before in May, because we came to your wedding and it was like, you guys are next, because we had just gotten engaged.
Yeah, I don't.
Probably like, oh, good.
Yeah.
It's about time.
Yeah.
This is.
We were very happy when she called us and said that you guys were engaged. I think we were very, both of us screamed and jumped up and down kind of thing. It was right.
I was pumped because I guess I didn't say this about your dating life. I never thought you'd get locked down, right? Because you were kind of like a wild flower going in the wind, and you just seemed to always you never were tied down. And then Rachel obviously tied you down, and you're like, hell yeah, Tate got himself a girl. I'm like, I did not think Tate Shad would get engaged before me or other people in the fraternity. So yeah, but obviously Rachel's worth it. So
I feel like I was not on that trajectory, and then she came and swept me off my feet.
It'll happen.
My little tiny feet.
You were very excited that their engagement was very intimate between the two of them. You thought it was really special that you did it in New York, and they kind of waited to tell people a little bit.
Yeah. See, she has a better memory than I do.
That's why she's here.
Mm-hmm.
I was excited. I think we were all really looking forward to it, and looking forward to helping you plan the wedding and getting her done.
Yeah, it's true.
I don't have a vivid memory of the engagement thing, but I feel like I remember seeing your engagement photos and thinking they were really cute.
Thanks.
That's what
But I was super happy and super pumped, and I was very excited about what the wedding was going to entail.
Well, after the kind of shock wore off, I was, oh my goodness, this is going to get here really fast. It was kind of like my second thought was how soon this is going to happen, and all the planning. And
I think my reaction, the better reaction you'd get out of me was if and when you asked me to do the wedding.
Ah, yes.
Because that was and I can't remember, it probably wasn't at first that you even mentioned it, but it was oh shit, no, this is, my cousins or whatever, they're Hicks from Western Nebraska. This is big time. And we're at a deep winery. We got Lutherans to impress. We've got its family.
This is the big show.
I guess that's,
what stands out to you from the wedding? What memories do you have from the wedding? What stands out?
What do I remember from the wedding?
Yeah.
Oh, from your wedding. I love weddings. Weddings are a special time.
Oh, it was a great time. Great day. I mean, besides it being hot.
The biggest thing I remember for that wedding is dancing, obviously, you know me, but just the sweats. It was hotter than hell.
Well, it was terribly hot.
Well, I do remember it was very hot that day.
The wedding, I remember being so hot.
It was hot. It was really hot.
Oh. Well, it was very hot.
Yeah.
Extremely hot.
How hot it was. Just that's literally my first thought is, wow, that was such a hot day.
It was really hot.
I remember it being a very warm day for sure. I had so many other things on my mind. I wasn't really overheating as much.
Yeah, a little warm.
Very hot. Unfortunately, yeah, the number one thing I remember was sweating my balls off.
It was very pretty, but it was extremely hot. I remember standing up there and I was like, it's a good thing that my back is not turned because it is so sweaty right now.
Oh, the first look for me was like me trying not to pass out.
The biggest memory of their wedding for me was my light pink shirt in the 100-degree weather that was no longer light pink at the end of the ceremony, and having to go sit in the car during the reception and turn the AC up.
I don't remember the temperature
Really?
about it because I just remember just hanging out with everybody and having a good time.
Yeah, it was a beautiful wedding though.
Everything. It was a great wedding.
Yeah, you guys had a really solid wedding.
So did you.
The Polaroids. I think there's still 3 of them floating around the house. We went through and threw away a bunch of pictures the other day that we just didn't need, and we kept those for sure.
It was just a fun wedding, watching you guys together. It was just a fun time seeing everybody again. I haven't seen your family in a long time. So seeing all of them, but yeah, seeing you guys together, it was just a fun night.
I like the unique setting. I have not ever been to a wedding at a vineyard before, so I really like that.
Celebrating you too. And the venue was cool too.
It was a good spot.
Yeah, it was really beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I
was an
remember it was
amazing
hot,
setting.
but it was beautiful.
Yeah, a very amazing setting. I liked the kind of out there feel to it. That venue was so cool too.
Yeah.
We thought it was beautiful.
Yeah.
Just like the whole scenery set up.
Glacier
like,
Till.
Glacial Till, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember thinking, and it was such like a pretty. We have a very photo of the two of us with the sunset in the background. It was so cute that night.
I thought the whole venue was very pretty, though. I loved it. It'd been nice if it was. I mean, there was enough people there that it couldn't even been bigger. It was amazing how many people were there.
It just seemed to run so smoothly.
It was literally so magical. I mean, just watching you guys and the venue and your friends, like it was all just so done. Like it was just done so well, and it was it was almost effortless, even though I'm sure it wasn't in your guys' point of view. But, from our point of view, it just worked out so perfectly. So
The wedding was great. I thought the venue and everything, it was just like everything kind of went according to plan. I've been at a lot of weddings now where there's a lot of drama between the two families and a lot of drama in general. This didn't feel like that was the case for this wedding. It was just smooth sailing. Everything was great. Yeah.
To the end, out in the country, and I thought it was very nice. And I thought everything went really, really well.
I remember, one, super fun. I love family weddings, so those are always some of my favorite to go to.
It was very exciting to have this wedding, and it was a fun venue. And we just all pulled together and worked, and I remember the cakes. They were all the individual cakes that you ordered, which were great. And it was a beautiful wedding, beautiful.
I think it's also extra special when it is a family member. Obviously Rachel and I do not share the same blood, but I still consider her family, obviously.
Yeah.
And I think it's just cool when, you celebrate love with people that you love, but as a family member too, it's like another way to just enjoy this special moment that's special for everybody, but it's your family, so it's special for everybody together. Like it's like layers of this special experience that you all get to share together and be there in person. So I think just being able to celebrate your two's love in a setting that's already filled with love because of all the family, and we're obviously all ecstatic about you two coming together, and then, you know, whatever formalities you want to call it, but Tate joining the family and then Rachel joining your family, you know? So I think that just spending time with everybody for you two, I guess, would be a short way to answer that question.
Just from my own personal point of view, I thought it was great that all the families were together.
Yeah.
Like Andrew said, you know? Kind of a lot of different people that would, I don't know, from a lot of different perspectives and backgrounds and all of that, and it just came into this beautiful thing that none of that really mattered.
Yeah.
It was just about you guys, you know?
Well, for me personally, it was that we had two big families coming together, and that was very rare, I guess, that we had so much family in one place.
I quite honestly, Tate, we got busy enough with some of the little bit of the running around and just a certain level of like,
Sent me off to get coffee.
yeah, like even Teresa, for instance, like ran to get coffee. You know, I mean, little logistical things like that. You know, just from the beginning to the end. Not that we were overwhelmed, but it's just like we so badly wanted it to go just right. You know.
I picture you, and I think it was Aunt Becky putting together that big arch with the flowers. I was like, oh my God, we made them do that, and it was like 90,000 degrees outside. I was like, we've got some good family here.
I was happy to do it. It was exciting, just everybody coming together.
Teresa got to spend a lot of time with your dad. She felt like she got to know him pretty good.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, he had a good day. I think he was kind of in the same boat. It all went so by so fast. He had so much on his mind that he just kind of tried to enjoy it and hang on as he went through it. I think he had to restock the bar once or twice, if I remember right.
I thought it was a beautiful wedding. It was very well done. Everybody that helped make that work, the way the family pitched in and everything, I thought that was just incredible.
Oh, and another thing that stuck out was that you guys asked me to read
I wondered if you were going to bring it up.
Night before. Hey, we were wondering, will you read this Tom Sawyer quote for our wedding tomorrow? I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Very awesome venue, and like just hanging out at Cane's before, classic pre-wedding meal. Nothing could go wrong from that. And then just hanging out downstairs and drinking beer out of our cool mugs you gave us.
Ooh, I still use that cup you got us. I don't know if that was what you were going for, but I still use that thing quite a bit.
Rachel, because I was with Rachel most of the day, obviously. She was so calm the whole day, even though I know she doesn't love a lot of attention. She knew that, like, obviously she was excited, and I think she knew, like we talked about this weekend, that you would handle it, meaning, like, anything uncomfortable she didn't want to have to do, she knew you would be there to do it. Which I think brought her peace. She was such again, I was with her most of the day, but she was such as I like to think of myself, as a bridezilla, meaning like she was very like low maintenance. She just wanted to have a great day.
Yeah, she was super calm, like right before. She just,
It was crazy. I was freaking out in my head, and she was like, I've never seen her so not worried about anything. It's like totally opposites of how we normally are.
Yeah, remember like when we were all about to, walk out there, walk you guys down the aisle, just looking at Rachel and looking at you and just being so happy, like, oh my God,
yeah.
This is really it.
What brings me to tears, just remembering.
And
that's the way I had that experience. I was brought to tears. And in a way, I mean, that doesn't take much for me to
yeah.
But this was having her very, very young, and she and I really bonded at a very, very, it was like we had known each other a long time, different lives. So it was, when that happened, it was really a culmination of all those things.
Mm-hmm.
And but so it affected me that way. But in another way, it was kind of anticlimactic because you all were just so cool with it.
I still look back at the pictures that I have, and there are some, of course, with Grandpa in it.
Yeah.
Are special to me, and you walked me down the aisle.
That's true.
So I really remember that.
And I remember from your guys' wedding, we got to be personal attendants, which was super fun.
We were very honored.
Yes, we got to sit at the head table with you guys, which was pretty cool. And we got to go on the party bus, which was pretty awesome. And then also, I think my favorite part, I don't know about Corey, but we got to tell the bridesmaids and the groomsmen when to go to start walking down the aisle. So I felt pretty powerful.
But the thing is, you don't know that we didn't know when to send them down the aisle.
It's
So
true.
We were just sending them and hoping for the best.
We counted to 6 sometimes, sometimes I think we only counted to 4. It was pretty fun though.
But I think it looked great. So
I think it did.
Good job, guys.
Super fun wedding.
Like, we caught some frogs and we were like showing everybody and stuff, and it was pretty cool.
I remember you guys, I think, gave, right after the ceremony, I think you gave Rachel a frog, and she was just like, what do I do with this?
Yeah, she's like, I'll keep this for a second.
Yeah, for 1 second.
Your walk down the aisle was sweet. Or her walk down the aisle.
The way you looked at her when she came out.
Aw. Yeah, I got choked up then, that was for sure. That was the one thing that got me.
I thought the ceremony was just beautiful.
The laughing with the vows.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The good-natured.
Both of your faces the whole time.
Yeah, how happy you guys were.
Especially when the officiant dropped the rings on the ground, that was pretty fun too.
But he dropped the ring. Is that true?
That's right. My friend, the officiant, he dropped the ring in the middle of the ceremony.
Oh man. So your guys' so I've been doing this a lot because I did another 2 weddings this summer, and so I was going back through and like reading through scripts and stuff. So your guys' was the first time that I like halfway gave a spiel, and it absolutely scared the heck out of me. But I think that part went okay. More the dropping of the rings, and I gotta think there's a device that I could like put on an arm or something that I could like hold them out as I'm trying to do this, because this is a problem every single time.
Yeah.
Just normally I catch them before they drop, just not at your wedding. So no, probably the dropping of the rings was the biggest thing at your guys' wedding.
Yeah, and I think I've told you before, but if it makes you feel better, I was so nervous up to that point and just in my head, and then the minute that you did that, it all just like released, and I was like, oh, okay, we can have fun, it's all fine. So I'm glad that it happened.
To me, and not
yeah, I'm glad it was. Maybe that was why it shifted the attention to you, not me.
The wedding was great, nice and quick because it was so hot. And then the thing I'll always remember, because I don't get to remember a ton else, is the party bus was like, okay, we've got like 45 minutes. And it was just very like, oh yeah, everyone's going to sit here. And I kind of stood up and was like, we got to get this thing going. And that's great. We got it going. And then I stopped going. The tank 7s were wild.
The whole wedding was fun. The bus was really fun.
The champagne shuttle was a highlight.
Oh, the party bus. The party bus was so fun.
I mean, the party bus for me was up there. That's for sure.
Oh yeah.
That was just fun. The party bus. You weren't there. Sorry.
Let's see. I don't think, were you guys at our wedding? I don't remember.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What a story.
We had a story the next day. The rental car keys that I had got lost in the van.
And the next morning, there was a situation with Blake Frederickson's keys.
That's what he reminded me of, the key dilemma and racing to the airport.
I don't know why that sticks out so vividly because
I think Sarah was about to murder him.
Yeah.
Yes. So we will never forget your wedding for that reason. And also, it was just a great wedding. The outdoor ceremony was beautiful. The indoor party, and I believe we ate on the deck, right? There's like a deck.
Yeah.
that was a great time.
So, like they were like having people come through and getting like the snacks and stuff, and they said like, "Hey, no seconds," and then I got no, I had
the line that just had like carrots and hummus in it, and so then they were like, "I'm sorry, you can't come back."
Well, and
Matt Moore was like, "He's been through the line. Look at his plate. His plate is dirty."
So basically, he busted me for getting seconds when I never actually got seconds. And she was like, "Hey," like the person working was like, "Hey, you can't do that." And I'm like, I didn't like it.
Oh my god, I didn't even know that was a thing. That's super funny.
Yeah, it was funny, but
I don't like Mediterranean food. Learned that. I don't need to go to the Mediterranean to learn it, though. Thank you. So you saved me some money there. You didn't save me any money on the wedding.
It's kind of funny, but how much the moon and how much I like the moon and everything caused such chaos with Grandpa and everybody getting all involved about the moon, because I just wanted a picture with you behind your table where you were with the moon behind there, because you know how I am with the moon. And Murray just got, oh my gosh, got everybody all around.
So obsessed with the moon.
So obsessed with the moon.
Kevin's speech was great.
Yeah. Epic.
Remember that?
Yeah, he did give a good speech.
I remember like Kevin's speech for sure. It was he nailed it. I thought, and it was hilarious. He mentioned at one point during his speech, like you could tell Tate's mood on a given day by like the pitch of his whistle. And I just thought that was hilarious. Like that's a line I remember for sure.
That was a great line.
Yeah, that one. I think that one went off a little bit better than not my pitting speech was fine, but I think hopefully my wedding speech aged a little bit better.
I think it was probably your speech was probably cool.
Actually, I just pulled up pictures because we were talking about your wedding, and I have a video of Honey.
Oh,
Honey,
nice.
Yeah. Did you guys sing Honey to Rachel?
But it was also such a blast. It was, I was finally at that age where I was sneaking drinks and dancing, and so that was a really awesome wedding.
That was
Plus,
a highlight.
Rachel and Tate, super cute. I'm sure they live happily ever after.
Oh, I definitely remember dancing with Rachel and trying to hide my emotion a little bit. I remember that. In fact, I think about it now and I still kind of tear up a little bit.
Yeah.
And on a totally unrelated note, your wedding. Okay, you're gonna have to remind me of his name because I remember smoking a cigar with your dad and Slim.
Honestly, my favorite. It was so fun, but what I clearly will always remember is you guys leaving. And both being like, I don't want to leave, and you having to walk through, everyone had the sparklers ready, and both of you like, we don't want to go. I'm like, just go. And then literally getting a call from one of you right after you left, are you guys coming back to the hotel? I'm like, when are you going? We're waiting.
That shuttle was crazy. It was the only time we were in it. It was before anybody else. It was when we did the exit and we ran in and we jumped in, and when we started driving with some random guy and we're like, what's happening? We don't even know where we're going. And we didn't have any of our shit. We didn't have our phones or wallets or anything.
It could take us anywhere.
Drew took us to the place everyone but us was staying to, so that was really poorly planned.
And then I feel like what we remember too is getting back, because everyone got back to the hotel at the same time. We all must have been sitting at the same place and just kept going for another 2 hours.
For a while, yeah.
Yeah, we're in the lobby for a while.
Yeah.
And just the connections that you had with so many people, even throughout high school, there was people that I saw there for the first time in 4 years since we graduated there. And then just how good of friends that you made throughout college, because I feel like a lot of people just get so comfortable with their friend groups, and they always just stick around who they know, which is guilty. A lot of North Platte kids, they just never branched out. And you had, I think all five, you had at least 5 groomsmen that you probably didn't even know before college.
Yeah, it was just you basically, and the other 4 were all new.
So it was just cool to see that, and just all the connections that you guys made throughout your way to meeting each other, and then eventually meeting each other, and then all those connections. And it was just cool to see, because it was the first time I've been to a wedding of a friend that had that, and pretty neat.
But it was really fun, and to have like be so fresh out of school, to have so many like close friends that you just like gone through a really challenging 4 years together it was a great celebration to kind of see those people 3 months after.
I remember at the end of the day, I was just, okay, everything went really good. I was relieved, ready to take a shower.
A good day for all of us, you know? Like, it was just fun. Everybody got along. Everybody was there that you cared about. I mean, that's all you can ask for a wedding, right?
It was a good time. I felt like everything kind of flowed. And both of you seemed fairly chill for, like, such a big event.
It's true.
Yeah.
I think we were pretty chill.
Yeah. No red flags. All green flags.
That's it.
And just like, it was just, and you guys had great people around you the whole time.
Yeah, it was a pretty damn solid day. There's like not one bad thing I can think of.
And those bad things you forget about, I'm assuming, because I'm bracing myself for that happening in my
That's true, yeah.
But I remember when you two were going out in that little cornfield and stuff and taking off for that final, you know, good night to everybody, and I was like, wow, they're going into a whole nother venture.
Like, even amongst the craziness of wedding day, you both seemed like the marriage part of it wasn't even a question. Like, that part was very calm. That feeling of like, we're getting married wasn't a like, oh God, is this the right thing, or this is, you know, this is a life-changing decision. But both of you seemed very confident and calm in that aspect.
Yeah.
There's a lot of planning and stuff going on and details and logistics, but like the actual marriage part seemed like the easiest part out of all of it.
Oh, man.
What was your first impression of us, and if you remember where you met us for the first time? Any NYC memories that come to mind from our time there?
We worked at the most amazing office in Midtown. We worked in an architecture firm together, and then by default met Tate.
I remember my first impression of Rachel when she interviewed. I honestly thought that she was way too soft-hearted and kind to be working at this really ridiculous firm we were at, because like a lot of this is going to be RRA centric, because it was really just a god-awful place. I was like, oh man, she is so sweet and she's so nice. And I think she was someone that Ronette had recommended her from the Midwest, and Ronette, who of course does not do her due diligence, was like, yeah, sure, I need to interview him. I just need to bring him over. And luckily for Ronette, it worked out that Rachel was like a hardworking employee who knew her shit.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't always work out that way. You know, we can't all get a bunch of Rachels and Jimenez. And I remember when she first came to the office, she was so quiet and so sweet. And I was like, oh, that's so nice. That's really great that she's just like a kind person. I don't know when New York is going to beat that out of her, but, you know, as it turns out, she's like the most unassuming Leo that you will ever meet. I remember being really surprised when I found out she was a Leo, because Ronette is also a Leo. Ronette fucking sucks. But Rachel is awesome. She's kind of one of those people who will just observe and then reveal to you that like she's been watching. So I was there sitting at the front at the reception desk while everybody slowly made their way to me to say, hey, is this normal? Is this normal? I'm like, yes, it's normal. It's not okay, but it's normal. So we spent a couple of very interesting years on 35th Street and 8th Avenue. Not ideal. But that's how I know Rachel. I knew her when she was blonde, and then she became a brunette, and she was blonde again.
Rachel, I remember, used to come around to Andres, who used to sit in front of me, but we hadn't officially been introduced for like days. And so I would just see her, and I would like try to look at my monitor and then like look at her above. And then we had our company Christmas party, and then we were seated next to each other, and then we connected, and then she's like, oh yeah, I'm married. And I was like, what? And then I don't remember how we met, or Tate and I met. I actually don't remember.
I don't know either.
The moment. Yeah. But I do remember coming over and making food. Actually, you weren't there at the time. I don't know where we met, Tate. Moving date?
I know, that was going to be my other guess too, but I feel like...
Yeah. You really,
No.
I mean, you both...
That might have been it. I think that was it, actually. Because I think I was like, okay, I don't know this person, but I'll help them move. I don't care.
Yeah, it might have been.
I think that was it. Because she had known you a little bit. She had hung out with you, but I don't think I had.
Well, you guys showed up to like every party, every outing, and then random days in between.
And I met you the first time when I think it was Will's last day or his birthday or something, and he had left, and we met you guys at a place in Manhattan, in Hell's Kitchen, I think. It was like a Spanish place where we had these massive margaritas.
Yep.
And she was like, "Oh, this is my husband." And I was like, "Whoa, you're married? You're young."
It was a wild night. I mean, that was a weird night, let's be honest. But I thought it was so much fun that she brought you along because it was Will's last day and everyone was level 10 party level. And I do remember being worried if you were going to feel out of place or if you wouldn't have fun or whatever. But you guys were you were great because she was still so new.
Yeah.
So we didn't know her very well. We didn't know you very well, obviously, at all. But you guys handled it like champions.
Because we were all the same age, like 27. And I was like, "Oh no, Rachel's married." And then we all looked introspectively at ourselves and we're like, "What are we doing wrong that we're not married?" And you guys were just like the nicest, sweetest people. You didn't really talk much that first night, but I remember I remember looking over to you guys. You were sitting to my left, and I was like, "They can handle this tequila." Rachel can low-key drink us under the table, so mind that.
I remember visiting you guys in New York City. That was super fun. And just that city like captured your guys' spirit of excitement and adventure that you still have.
We went out when you guys came, and I have a picture of all you, Ben, Sarah, and Rachel sleeping on a wall in the subway underneath a staircase.
Yeah,
It's super
it could have been a
gross.
Beatles cover.
Yeah, exactly.
Album cover.
It was gorgeous.
Work was super fun, like being able to hang out with you guys, see your apartment. I feel like that brought us closer together.
And it's also like, not that you're starting new, but you're starting a new chapter. And it's the first chapter that both of you started together.
Yeah.
I will never forget your birthday walk, bar hopping we did across Manhattan, where nobody remembers after like the fourth bar, and everyone's like, "How did we get home? Who knows?"
Well, actually, another great memory was, of course, your birthday pub crawl. That was probably our best memory. Because we started at like 10 a.m. We met at Shake Shack when they opened.
You made it the latest than anyone else.
I did. We made it all to the last bar, and we went to 7, 8 bars. We spent the whole day. It was so much fun because it was both your birthday and St. Patty's. I loved that day.
That was that's probably one of the top 5 best days of my life.
Oh my god, probably same actually.
Yeah, that was
Quite a high.
4 years ago.
No way.
God, that's
Yes,
insane. Yes, it was.
Yes, it was.
What?
Wow.
Yeah,
I guess 5 years of friendship.
that's true. Yeah, that is
I
crazy.
guess 4.
Honestly, we got pretty rowdy at some concerts.
Yeah.
When you, Rachel, Martha, and I came over, and then we just did as many games as possible, and we played, is it Jackbox?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then...
At the time, I was dating someone who lived in the middle of nowhere, Queens. And so I would be coercing people to come to these ridiculous basement parties in Queens, in Middle Village, Queens. And then one time you guys were like, "Yeah, we'll come." And I was like, at first I was like, are they doing it because they're just too nice? They don't know just how deep Middle Village is. And I'm still not sure what the answer to that is. I think maybe you were too nice and didn't know where Queens was, or you generally were just like, "Yeah, I want to party."
Yeah.
Either way, I thought it was a nice balance. I was like, listen, they can party in a basement in Queens.
One memory that I always think about, especially when I think of you, is that golf at the Met Stadium that we did.
Yeah, that was you and me though.
Yeah, well, that's true.
That was awesome.
Yeah. That was
the top New York experience for sure.
Oh.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Big Dave and then the other guy, your buddy.
That's right, Martin. Yeah.
Wow, I think my first honest impression who are these people and how can we be friends? I literally moved in that week before, I think, a couple of days with Doe, and she was like, "What are you doing this weekend?" I'm like, literally nothing. Absolutely nothing. And she was like, "Well, I'm going with some friends to the park. Do you want to come? The requirement is you bring food." And I was just like, that's easy. I love food. Who doesn't? And then, yeah, And then didn't we play, what game was that called?
Anomia.
Yes. And I've never been so competitive in my life because it was like questions of things like we should know the answer to. And like, I think the drive of especially both of y'all really just be like, well, bam, like I know this one, or like, oh, and I was like, oh man, we're competitive. Okay, I gotta get into this.
Especially Rachel, she's super good at that game.
Yeah.
I don't really remember what led up to this, but there are a couple of telltale photos that we took of us Charlie's Angeling it in front of a gigantic New York City dumpster pile of trash. But Google reminds me of that every year. It's a Google memory on my phone. It's like, hey, do you remember this? And I'm like, yes, I do. I do.
Unfortunately.
And especially because like I'm the kind of like person or chick who like, I don't have a lot of like girlfriends or like chick friends. So like that memory sticks out to me a lot because it was just like, oh wow, it's like girls who I actually enjoy being around. Because I really don't enjoy being around women. They are catty and mean. Like I happened to find for this weird like 2-year period, there's like the most lovely group of women who I felt comfortable jumping into a pile of trash with. Yeah, we were drunk, but who cares?
Another one is when we tried so hard. It was when you finished dental school and you had all your friends over, and the end goal was to go to House of Yes.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't make it because we're all so tired all the time. And then another one is when Louis came home.
Oh, that's a good one.
And then you guys let us come over on day one.
Naturally, Louis.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
That was probably, I think, I only say that because I think when we went over there, we were like, oh, so we have this like brand new puppy and it's like the world's cutest dog. It was probably like the biggest like whirlwind of everything. Because I think it was like the first time it was like we were just hanging out with Joe. It's like one of the first like smaller group hangouts, like meeting everyone, which also feels like such a big like, oh, how do you like interact with somebody? And you know, Rachel getting like that hospitality mode, like, hey, I want to host, like, be super friendly, you know, like, what do you like, getting like the nitty gritty of like those friendship details. But I think that was also the time that we were like, I said something like, oh, like, what do we want to do for food? And then we're like, what if we order Domino's?
Oh, yes, I remember this.
And then it started like that whole, like, I don't know, it's like when you recall past memories with people that just never, like, you never interacted with them at that time. You're like, oh, I have to tell you why this is a core memory. And you will have no context of this, but also I want to invite you into that part of my life and be part of this. And I felt like that whole day was just like one after the other, like, hey, we're making those core memories. We're trying to remember this big part of who we are and like what shaped us to where we are now, and inviting you into that. I felt like, you know, it's so easy to say that is Rachel, right? It's you know, you are my friend and I want you to be part of all of this with me. And that's so inclusive of that friendship. Not everyone would do that. Not everyone would be like, yeah, come over.
House of Yes is still on the to-do list, so maybe this fall.
We're still doing it. It's coming up.
It's
been announced.
Yeah, we're totally gonna stay awake. It's gonna be great. We're totally not tired now.
No, we're gonna take everything on the market, and then we're just gonna stay up, go hard.
Can't wait. I'm tired just thinking about it.
And you guys were always so much fun, and you were always so inclusive. You know, you never made me or anyone else feel like a third wheel, or feel like, you know, if anything, it was like me and Rachel over here, and you were the third wheel, or, you know, something that would be like.
It was definitely that, for sure.
I remember after Kitty's wedding when we all went out again, and then you and I were like dancing in the corner by ourselves, and everyone was making fun of us. So then it was like you and I and everyone else. So I just really appreciate how inclusive you guys are as a couple.
And it was always fun to like, because you guys were always down to like go out, try and experience New York and like kind of like the different types of shows that we would get to in different neighborhoods. That was always really fun because I could count on you guys for trying those new experiences and kind of getting to see that. So I think that was probably one of the things that I would remember was the most unique to you guys, because it was one that I got to do with just you guys coupled like the 2 or 3 different times. So
I feel like that's just like every couple, everyone has their like own individual like personalities, but then when you meet couples that like really click, you're like, oh, y'all play off of each other really well and y'all just like make this work. Like how can, it's like, it's hard to find those like couple friends, I guess like, you know, you could say.
Yeah.
And so that was honestly my initial impression. I was like, we can be best friends. This is easy, right? It was like, and so then started my year plan of, before y'all moved, RIP, how do we become best friends?
Actually, during the pandemic, when I went back to Kansas City for a few months, and then I came back and I hung out with just the 2 of you when we went around Union Square.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that night?
Oh, yeah. That was a great night.
Oh, my gosh. And for a while, actually, the photo that we took of the 3 of us in our masks was either yours or Rachel's little ID for when you would call or text me. I think it might have been hers. And then the one that we just took 2 summers ago is in Kansas City when you guys came to the backyard barbecue at my parents'. That one is now yours. But that night at Union Square was actually the night you guys told me you were moving. And that was really sad. But we had so much fun up until you dropped that bomb on me.
Oh, I mean, and also that and your going away party.
Yeah, that was a good time too.
I think I fell over twice.
And another one was when you guys had your going away party. Getting the opportunity to see in just a short amount of time all the friends that you made and the impressions that you made while you were there was kind of the representation of the quality of you guys individually, but how much you bring to the table as a couple. Because I think a lot of people in New York knew you as a couple, and to an extent individually. But the representation, everyone that came out to kind of support you and show you guys off just really showed what you guys bring to the table as a couple.
I remember we went to brunch with, you know, Rachel once, and it had to have been years and years ago. And I remember her asking us, and I must have been 27 because I remember just being 27, which means she must have been 27. I remember her asking us, hey, so do you guys think you're ready to have kids right now? And I said, bitch, no. What do you mean? I can barely pay my own rent right now. Why would I be able to have kids?
Yeah.
And she told us, she was just like, I feel like Tate had thought that he'd have kids by 27. And I was just like, if you think you can have kids living in that New York City apartment, good for you. And then obviously you guys didn't have kids until like 3 years later.
Yeah.
Which made me feel so, because you had already moved, you were already back in the Midwest. And like, it just felt super right. I was just like, it's just so much better.
Yeah.
To be somewhere that's cheap. Like, New York's not meant for children. So it just makes, it really warms my heart to know that you guys are literally like surrounded by your family and close to friends and like in a place that, like, I don't know, you probably have a yard, right? Do you have a yard?
We do have a yard.
There you fucking go. You have a goddamn yard. I think everything you're doing happened exactly when it was supposed to.
Yeah.
And so, good for you guys.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for you. You guys can do it.
Oh, thank you. We're doing something. Something's definitely doing. Any other memories that stick out from the last couple of years since we've been in Kansas City, actually?
Kansas City trip when you guys were living in, I think you were still in New York then, or we're going to. Yeah, I think you were still in New York, where we all came down and played that putt-putt golf at Nelson Art Museum. That was a great like road trip to get to catch up with you guys.
Yeah.
And then just coming back to the Midwest was really good news.
You know, somebody like you take kind of moves back into the picture, and it was just so great to have that 2022, like, you know, you initiating, you know, we're like texting, watching the Masters, and you're like, would you want to be in a golf league? Like, would you want to do a golf league? You know, I've never done it before, but I think it would be awesome. You know, watching this tournament just make me get out and play more. And like, honestly, so happy you did.
Yeah.
You know, that first year we did it, and then certainly this year, it's like one of those things that you look forward to every single week. Couple hours after work, once a week.
Like, I mean, there's so many memories.
Halloween, that first Halloween was pretty good.
It's almost like kind of overwhelming. There's so many times and memories.
Anytime we visit you guys. You guys have always been so like gracious and letting us stay and like seeing the cities in which you live, which we hope to live in the same city.
I mean, Baby Gray and Baby Meadow, you know, that's the peak. They're gonna have to be BFFs.
Yeah.
So them meeting, you know, and each of us meeting each other's baby, and yeah, I don't know. There's just been a lot of good stuff over the last couple of years. So
I remember for your birthday a couple of years ago, we did the pedal bike in the city, and that was like tail end of COVID, I think.
21.
Yeah, and that was really fun. It was like, because I really didn't get to spend a ton of time with you guys during COVID, obviously. And so that was, I feel like, one of the first, like, life is getting back to normal times that we got to hang out, and actually I got to, like, spend more time with y'all and get to know both of you better.
That was a great weekend.
But when we came down, I remember we brought Mia.
Oh,
Lily
yeah.
and Mia fell in love.
That's
Yeah,
right.
of course.
That was fun. Mia ran out of your yard multiple times.
Did a backflip over our back fence. I'll never forget that.
Crazy dog.
Yeah.
Loves chain link fences.
And Herman, we went to go get some wine. That was really fun. Just like all the dinners and like parties when you guys bought your house.
Coming to visit you guys, need a new house, and
Your house is super cool. Also,
thank you.
Just love that.
I remember you guys came over to our house for a Chiefs game, and that was one of the first times that I had hung out with you guys, like, after meeting you guys for the first time and then, like, actually hanging out. And I just had a really good time, and I remember it was, like, so chill, and we talked about a lot of different stuff, and I just felt like it was a good crew to hang out with, and I just felt really comfortable, and I was like, I like these guys.
yeah, we've done a couple good Christmases, me and Rachel and Emily and you also by proxy.
I don't know. I love our Christmas parties that the Coppersmiths have been hosting. Those have been fun. And going to them.
And now we've got your guys' Christmas party every year to look forward to, and eventually all the other party themes we'll do.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Halloween, so pumped about that.
Oh my gosh, I know.
Like Ozarks, you do such a great time at planning that every time.
Thank you.
Party, Mary, you should do that as a job.
Oh my god, I wish.
All the hangs, but it's been even more fun with Meadow.
Yeah.
Not that you guys aren't fun, but it's been really fun with Meadow too.
And I don't know, I just feel like it's been nice reconnecting because I feel like there's kind of been like a nice warmth to both your relationship with Rachel, but then like the way you interact with Zach and Gabby and with us. Like, I don't know, it's just fun. Like, I like going to your birthday party, meeting your friends. Like, didn't know a lot of them, but just nice people, grounded people who, I don't know, love you guys, obviously. So,
yeah.
You guys are always just so, like, as a couple, welcoming and, like, down to literally do anything, which is the type of people I like to hang out with.
And now we're doing the lake stuff. Man, we're killing it.
Good too. Like this will be a really fun tradition. Yeah.
I agree.
Yep.
And to bring Kevin into it, not this about him. Like, we're just at the point of friendships where we just like pick it up and just roll it on, or pick it up where it was left off. There's no like, oh man, we got to make time. It's like, oh, this is great. Can't wait for this weekend. And now next year it needs to be longer. Already planning that. So.
Well, I think that's what I like about you guys. Like, now that we're 31, 25 seems like, whoa, 25, 26, like, how'd you get married then? But you, like, just made a life together, and I just think that's so cool. And just seeing you, like, her being pregnant, her as a mom, I just have so much, like, admiration for your guys' relationship. It's, like, so mutually respectful, and you support whatever either one wants to do.
Yeah.
And that sounds nice.
Any advice for the next 5 to 10 years? Any advice for the next 5 to 10 years?
Yeah, someone who's been married for 0 years.
boy.
Oh my gosh.
In terms of what?
Anything.
Being an adult or being a parent? Things that I have not yet done that you guys are on course to doing?
Oh gosh, I don't know if we're in a position to give it.
I don't know if I can give advice. I mean, I'm not even married yet.
Soon.
I don't know if I could give any advice.
I'm single and with no kids.
As far as advice for you goes, we don't have a lot.
Well, I'm not married, so that's hilarious that you'd be asking me that, but...
Honestly, I'm not the person to give advice. Like, here I am, single and here, but...
I don't know if we're the ones to be giving
That's a hard one for anyone. I mean,
You're getting these questions.
I know. Some of them are deep, I guess.
Well, you guys have been married longer than we have, so should we be giving advice?
I feel like we'll be asking you all that, or we should be asking you all that question.
That's a good point. Yeah, you've been married. You also have a child, and we do not. So, what do you got for us, Kate?
No, I'm not married. Well, actually, I am.
Now that you're a married woman, you can answer this, right?
Very new.
We're in the same journey together. We're at 5 years.
We're
you guys
3 whole weeks ahead of you.
Yeah,
so.
5
know.
years.
Hey.
I would say I probably want to ask your advice because it seems like you're doing pretty good.
No pressure. You don't have to even say anything if you don't have.
No, I know. I might as well say something stupid though.
Let's see. Advice.
Well, I think you're off to a good start.
Just keep doing what you're doing.
Keep doing what you're doing, I guess.
And just do what you're doing.
So we think you should keep doing what you're doing because it's clearly working.
Keep doing whatever you two are doing because it's working really well.
And just keep doing what you've been doing.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Oh my gosh. Keep doing it.
Whatever you think is the good thing to do is probably already the right thing to be doing.
You gotta pave the way for the rest of us.
The next 5 to 10 years, keep having babies. You can never have too many guys.
Also, definitely have more meadows in the future because great work.
Take care of your daughter. That's probably good. If you want to have more, that's up to you.
Meadows needs a brother. I'm just going to throw that in.
Have more babies.
Have more babies. Because Meadow's really cute.
Oh.
Keep popping out them kids.
Have another baby. Because it seems easy and she's so cute.
And, I think that's part of the reason why when you guys had kids, like everyone who I told was completely just unfazed. They were like, yeah, of course. Kind people meet other kind people. And I'm convinced that they will produce more kindness in the world. So no one was surprised when you guys had kids. And we're all just like, great, those two people should be having kids.
You two, you travel together, you do exciting things, you know how to find the right adventures for you. You like the same type of things, which is really, really important. And you do them together. You both have a few interests that, you do on your own, but Rachel's trying golf. I appreciate that, Rachel. Thank you very much. Please keep trying.
Keep your golf game up, Tate. Don't ever let that slip. Get your kids golfing.
Love on Sweet Meadow because we love her and she's perfect.
Maybe.
Well said.
Take care of your little meadow.
Take care of our child.
Take care of your child. That's my advice.
Raise our child.
Hey, take care of your kid.
Be the best parents you can be, I guess, for Meadow. Try to continue to travel if you can.
Love each other, love your family, love little Miss Meadow and the next one that comes along.
Don't take a lot for granted.
Have the best time and with Meadow in her first 5 years.
Spread out your next 5 kids by at least 13 months. Those Irish twins can be tough.
Yeah.
But also get them all in before the age 35 because then they're hanging out in your house way too long. So
I'd say buckle up.
You're farther ahead than we are.
Well, toddlerhood and babyhood is a roller coaster.
It is.
So
But you just gotta
lean on each other.
Yeah.
Is that what you were
Yeah, I
gonna
was
say?
gonna say lean on each other. Yeah.
Keep cherishing each other because you guys do a real job at that. Keep celebrating each other and your precious little family. and keep staying in Kansas City so that we can join you there soon.
Live in Kansas City for the next 3 years, and then you can move so I can come visit you.
Move to Seattle.
Come closer. Move back. No. I would just say, I mean, you guys are great parents, and you guys are in a relationship that is like very solid, and the way you communicate with each other and like respect each other, I think is just keep doing that, you know?
You guys are just easy, and it just seems easy, and it works easy.
I think just when I think of you two specifically, continuing to do those little adventures and continuing to be goofy and bring each other out of your comfort zones and continue to adventure. I feel like both of you have an adventurous spirit amongst in your very calm and chill personalities.
To never go to bed angry, ever. No matter what it is, how bad it is in your guys' eyes, it is not worth going to sleep mad at each other and waking up mad at each other. So
Never go to bed at night with animosity on your mind. If there is a problem, work it out before you lay your head on a pillow and go to bed.
I don't know. I guess just always, stay honest, stay loyal, stay faithful, and don't forget to always still try to make each other laugh. I don't know if you have that rule, like don't go to bed mad or whatever. Sometimes that's hard to avoid depending on how, bad your argument is. But I think it's the little moments when life gets really hectic and you're both so stressed and sleep deprived and pissy with each other and whatnot, and it's like, just crack a joke, quote a funny movie, send her a funny video that made you think of her, just keep making her laugh.
Just never go to, they always say never go to bed mad, and that is such a true story, but I think the way you two work your differences out is cool. Nobody ever really hears about them, and it's great. You don't fight and argue. You have a good, solid relationship. Just keep that going and just keep that spark all the time too, and take time for yourselves, which I think you do. Have your date nights and stuff, and I'm always willing to be there to help that out.
And you got babysitters up here. I mean, I don't know. Too bad we're this far up here, but boy, we'd be happy to babysit and make sure you guys get out once in a while and have a big date out.
Take turns taking care of Meadow. Don't let one person hog it, because that's definitely something that is a life changer and a game changer. But just always be there for each other.
Just keep growing together and don't stop having fun. Keep doing fun things. I'm excited for you guys to continue to be awesome parents, and obviously Meadow and any other future children are going to be at the center of your lives, but don't forget to lean on each other and definitely still have fun together without the kids around. Big grandma in the picture. Yeah.
I would say, as you guys are starting a family, doing all the fun things, and I love seeing you guys as parents. You guys are really great together. Really, you can tell you're a solid team, and I just love seeing you guys as parents.
Always date each other. Take time to get dressed up for each other. Keep dating each other.
But I think you guys continue to date each other and be each other's best friend, and that's a big thing that I see when we hang out, and especially even in big groups. At Taylor's birthday, I remember thinking oh, they're so cute. They still like each other, and so I think some people sometimes lose sight of that. So
making sure that Rachel comes first, and then make sure that she does the same for you, because there's one famous quote that I like. Just make sure you're always there for her and there for each other. But also make sure you date your wife, or else someone else will.
definitely take time out for each other. I know sometimes having kids, it's hard.
I don't know, prioritize your relationship when the kids get stressful. I think that would be always making sure that you're giving time to each other, not just the kids.
Have fun and make time for each other as a couple. You have an amazing life going on with your kids, but make sure to have time just the two of you.
I guess, I don't know, keep making time for each other, even with kids and stuff. I
that's
That's
important.
Even though you get used to each other, like don't take each other for granted.
Do things together. I think those are important.
I think you'll be fine. But yeah, just like don't forget that you guys are cool together without babies and stuff. Like keep that alive, I guess.
I think put your marriage first, and all the parenting stuff will follow, you know? So go on dates and have grandma babysit and do things that are good for the two of you. And,
Yeah.
And Meadow will be just fine.
Oh wow,
You're kind, you're wholesome, you're pretty. Your baby's living life on easy mode. Like, you know, she's gonna grow up to be gorgeous.
Yeah.
Teach her some humility, teach her to be humble, and she'll be just as great as you guys are. Maybe better.
Just continue to, you know, show each other love and just have that, you know, love is patient, love is kind stuff. So
Yeah, that's
the little
perfect.
thing.
Yeah, definitely.
And be very patient and understanding, you know, with each one's needs and desires and, you know, space and everything else they need.
While being parents.
While being the best parents ever, which will be difficult sometimes.
It could go beyond the next 5 to 10 years, but you know, this life you have together is very special. And I think foremost, if you think of you guys first, and then everything else comes after that. So take care of you and your relationship together first, and then, you know, you will be able to take care of kids, life, everything else.
Just keep the focus on each other going forward, making sure you're doing things for you too, not just everyone else that you guys want to do. Make sure, I don't know, you keep in touch, Tate, you make sure you keep taking care of your family and Rachel. You know what happens if you don't.
My advice to Tate would be, you know, don't screw it up, because we'll come for you pretty hard. So
That's true.
be careful.
I feel that.
Keep coming to reunions. Family, and just patience. Yeah.
Don't be afraid to say you're sorry. Communication is the key. I think you guys do that really well already, but don't let it go away.
I don't know. I think just when it comes to just any relationship, it's obviously, you two know this, but two-way street, right? Yeah. Two-way street, open communication, you know, just don't, yeah, you already know this. I think just you two probably have a different way of communicating with each other, and I think that's great. And it's like, you don't hide things from each other. When you feel something, you feel it, you say it. Yeah. Or however you two communicate that. I think just that, you know.
I think the best advice would be to just keep talking. Be good communicators. Don't hide anything. Don't hide any emotions or feelings.
Communicate. Yeah, I think that's what Blake and I do very well in our relationship is we tell each other what we need from each other or what we need less of. And I think that helps. And we talk through potential scenarios or, you know, this is kind of what I see for our future. How do you react to that? And just making sure you're communicating and that you're growing together through those communications.
Don't be afraid to embrace cars in the face while you're giving an interview, you know. Just embrace all of toddlerhood. So
Fair enough.
I just feel like children solidify you as a couple, or it breaks you as a couple.
Yeah.
You know,
I can so see that.
It's important to remember, like, you married your best friend,
Yeah.
and
the early days.
they're there for you, even though parenthood is very difficult.
We should prioritize our friendships too. I think it'd be fun to do a big reunion with babies.
The biggest thing that I've learned over the years is, one, obviously communication is always key, but time. If you have a partner that is able to understand how you think and how you process things, any type of situation where it's a low rather than a high, you got to get through it if you understand that time fixes all with the right person.
It's not even advice, because I feel like you're already living it. It's like literally day to day, every single day, all I'm learning is to be more empathetic and sympathetic to the people around me. And I feel like the reason you guys and I became friends was because you had already embodied that. You'd already like been kind people. And I feel like that's so hard to find, especially here in New York City.
From our experience, what's essential 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 is that she be totally surrounded and enveloped in love. That's it. So out of that then will come how you treat her, how you're with her, all the decisions you have to make. Everything comes from that. To know that what we did yesterday won't be the same as tomorrow, but we're going to take each day and make the best of it. And I see that literally in every post, every story that y'all have, that you're making the most of life and making sure it's live life to the fullest, because you really don't know what 5-10 years will bring, and it's the culmination of those small things.
The biggest thing I've learned from being married as long as we have and together as long as we have, and Courtney's always been so good at it, but like just maintaining your independence. I know a kid obviously complicates that, but I've seen too many close friends relationships like fall apart because both sides of the relationship don't take time for themselves. I do think you guys do a very good job of that, but yeah, and don't lose your interest in travel. That's always what I've loved about you guys. You're always so down for that.
I don't know, just as we get older, remember to smell the roses, I guess. Life's going a little quicker now.
Yeah, I would say just keep building, keep having fun. Remember why you guys love each other. Because obviously with a family, with a child, that's going to take up a lot of your time if it obviously already has. But just enjoy it. But remember what it was like when you were in dental school, when you were in New York, when it was just you guys having so much fun. Just continue that. And I already know you guys are, so that's great.
Yeah.
Honestly, like you guys are kind of in the same stage as me and Lauren, in that you've moved out of New York into, Omaha, Kansas City, got a new baby. And what I found is I've just been enjoying experiencing this chapter, and kind of really soaking it all in. And I know that you've gotten that advice, and I know that you guys are adhering to it, but really just like, for me, this is the richest time of my life. And I hope that you guys feel the same way, and just to value it and cherish every minute of it.
You kind of just gotta cherish the little moments when they come. And what was it? I read a quote recently that was like, if you can't just like stop and say that was nice when something nice happens, then like what's the whole point? So I think we're trying to do that more too. Is just like stop and really appreciate things instead of like pushing so hard for goals and like what's the next thing? What's the next thing? What's the next thing? Because you can get really caught up.
Yeah.
Doing that.
I think there has been this realization in our life that so much of our time has been like putting off, hey, once I get through residency, we'll be good. Once I get through this, we'll be good. And there's a temptation to do that with kids too. Hey, once my kid sleeps through the night, we'll be good. Hey, once my kid stops breastfeeding, we'll be good. Hey, once my kid's in school, like, we'll be good. Hey, once my kid's out of the house, that's when we'll take all these vacations. And like, I'm speaking from a place where I'm totally guilty of this, but man, just enjoying every moment. Even those middle of the night, not sleeping at all. I know work's going to suck the next day. Like, it's just great. There's just beauty in all those moments. So there's my cheesy answer for this. Take it or leave it.
Keep things fresh, but I think you're doing that right now as you create this video for your anniversary. That's a really cool idea.
I always think take something I've always liked about you with kind of either the NSE stuff or just other things is it like creativity and like being able to inject like creativity and fun into things that would otherwise be a little bit mundane. And I think the longer you're together, the more responsibilities you have, the more important injecting some creativity and fun
into daily, weekly life, I think the more important that is. Even having an idea like this to do this for Rachel, is really, really great. And something not a lot of people do. And so it almost is, you could say creativity, you could be fun, you could say fun, or you could say just that little extra effort, to show Rachel that, how much you care about her. Oh, you guys are, I have all the faith in the world in you guys. You guys are just very, you guys just kind of know what you want, or if you have a goal, you guys are very determined to reach those goals, and you guys never settle. Like, that's the thing that we talked about in North Platte a couple months ago was, you know what, man, if I'm doing something I just don't really quite like it, I'm going to find something that just makes me happy, and just keep doing that for both of you.
I think you guys just are great at encouraging each other towards things that you love, and I think that's evident in you switching jobs and her supporting you as you look for, what you're truly passionate about and how that becomes a job. Sooner or later, I think you're a great dentist too, but you guys are just very, I think, intentional about how you want your lives to look and supportive of each other. And you supporting Rach to stay home with Meadow is super cool and not an easy decision. So I think just how you guys already do it is just keep those communication channels open, honesty, integrity, and just, serving each other the best you can will get you there. And it'll probably go really fast.
No shit.
Just keep doing what you're doing and working hard at it. And marriage is it takes a lot of work to make a marriage work. So just keep doing what you're doing.
You got a really happy family, a beautiful baby. You're on top of the world. Just stay there and keep on doing what you're doing. I think you're doing it just right.
The only other thing is, anything else you'd like to say to help us celebrate our anniversary this year? Anything else you'd like to say to Rach or us to celebrate our anniversary this year? Any other things you'd like to say to Rach or to us to celebrate our anniversary this year?
So broad. I don't know where to go.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
Congratulations.
One, congratulations.
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 Huge congrats to you guys.
Well, huge congratulations for sure.
Well, obviously, happy anniversary. That's amazing.
Oh, happy freaking anniversary.
Amazing that it's come this fast.
Yeah, that says 5 up there. And I said, holy shit, 5, where did that go?
5 years. It's gone quick.
Can't believe it's been so long. 10 years that you guys have been together, 5 years married. That's crazy.
Oh gosh, you guys, you're doing so well.
I don't know. Keep the race going, I guess.
We're very excited. You guys have been together for 5 years, and it's just a great family to be around. We're always happy to see you guys, and wish we could see you guys more together.
That's right. Rachel, you are, I said it earlier, I think, but a very gentle human being, and you bring such a nice, lovely, calming presence to the room that you're in. And yeah, I appreciate that you are a part of my life, and that you brought Tay into my life, and that we're all part of each other's life. So happy anniversary. Also, kind of happy birthday. It's coming up.
That's true.
So there's that too. And
Guilty birds.
Yeah. Just excited to see how the little family grows,
Nice.
I love you, Rach, and I miss you so much, and I'm really grateful that you've always been there to inspire me and lead the way with life, from fashion and music and being a cool, hip teen.
Yeah.
Who also does something cool. And to then having a beautiful marriage and becoming a mother. And I'm just so grateful to be able to watch watch Rach do it first and lead the way. So
Nice.
And I know many years of your relationship unfolding and happiness that will come is also gonna continue to inspire you.
I loved being close to you growing up and having special birthday parties and being there for all the milestones in your life, graduation, confirmation, all that good things. So, yes.
Today I think of Rachel many times, and I'm so happy that she is glad and happy with Tate, her husband, and their little meadow. Amen, amen.
Just thank you for being my son's wife and being the person that you are. You're beautiful inside and out. You're an amazing mother, amazing wife, amazing person, amazing friend. I call you my little granola kids because that's what you are. I mean, I love the way you live your life. You know, you're not putting money above all, and you keep it real. So I love you both.
You just have a beautiful family, and I couldn't be happier.
Yay!
With you as a son-in-law either.
Oh, thanks.
Really, I couldn't have picked anyone.
I think it's amazing what he's doing.
Yeah, I think we're just amazed, really, that how wonderful you're doing with your career and taking care of things. And Rachel is just such a wonderful little mother.
I'm so happy to see her as a mom. I've never seen her look so happy.
Yeah.
Ever.
You can just tell.
I know it's probably hard for her to walk away from her pretty accomplished job that she had there and everything, and she's so good at that kind of stuff. We're very happy for what she accomplished down at UNL and her architecture and stuff, because that's a tough one. I know other people that have done that. It's a tough road to hoe.
You're everything I thought you would be and more.
Oh wow, that's so good. Just that's it. That's the video. That's all. That's all we need.
Wow. Dang. That's good.
Yeah, follow that up.
Should I drop the mic now?
Yeah, I think so.
He just learned that term like last week.
Her job as being a wonderful little mother is main job number one. Of course, being a good wife, the whole thing is got to fit together.
Well, first to Rachel, thanks for finding one of my best friends and making him a husband. We've always approved, and we love you, and you guys made a beautiful little daughter, and just super happy for you.
It's gone by really quick, but there's just way too many memories to even pack into 5 years. You guys have done a really good job. Look at where you've been in 5 years. I mean, we packed a U-Haul the very next day, and you guys took off for New York City to live in a closet.
Yep. And
you graduated out of that closet, thank God. And then now you're in Kansas City. You're a lot closer, and it's easier on everybody, except for Beth and Guy. And I think it's just been nice to have you guys closer, and look forward to spending more time with you.
First of all, you two are one of the best looking couples I've ever met in my entire life. Like top tier, you two, tens.
Nice.
Tens or
Thank you.
You guys are definitely a couple that we're proud to have in our friend couple group, and that I think we definitely can take a lot from you guys, and hopefully you feel the same way about us.
Absolutely.
I feel like you are probably one of the top 5 couples that are know each other so well that you can create meaningful excursions or gifts or something that isn't flamboyant, but means just continue to be your guys' selves together. Because you guys are who I look up to as far as what I want to have for a future wife and the relationship I have. Look at you and her, so.
We see friends that having a family, start having kids, and it's just nice to be around friends that you're like, I want to embody that when we have kids, and I, really respect them and admire them as parents. And not only do we like you as friends, but we like you as parents and the family that you're creating and the life that you're creating. So it's really cool to see, and I just think that it's exciting, and we're happy to be friends with you guys.
Just keep doing what you're doing, and you have an awesome support group. A lot of couples don't have that. Anywhere you go, you guys have somebody to turn to. Nearly in every Midwest city, I feel like.
Any milestone's a big milestone. An anniversary can be whatever you want it to be. It can be happy, it can be sad, it can be momentous, it can be celebratory. Look at each day as that new day, as, hey, congratulations to each other. You'll wake up one day and think, I'm really mad at you because you were snoring louder and I didn't get good sleep. But at the end of the day, you'll be like, hey, we're going to celebrate ourselves, and y'all have done it so well. Because growing a family is never the most straightforward thing. It always takes effort, and always takes concerted effort and concerted thought. And I do believe that y'all are the two people who do that well.
And you're just so sweet and so fun, and you're always down to hang, and that's really important. It's not like you got married and just shut the world off just because you two were married,
I think you guys are great. You're one of the couples where I'm like, they're meant to be.
Your guys' inside jokes, you can say one word to her and she'll giggle. She'll do the same to you. Stuff you expect in good couples, but for you guys it's pretty unique because, you're both introverted, but can be extroverted if you have to, you more than her. Mm-hmm. And you're a good team, and you just make it work and created a beautiful, beautiful daughter. And just can't wait to see what else you guys do. So
it really is just such a joy to watch you both. You're one of our couple of friends that I think are very similar to us in that, you don't, fight. You just, not that you don't have, disagreements, but it's, we're never going to see you yell at each other. Mm-hmm. Or I think, the way that you raise Meadow is going to be similar to our parenting style. And so hopefully continuing to do that will be good for the next 5 years, because that's probably what we're going to continue to do.
Be awesome parents to Meadow and any possible future children.
Well, make sure, I would say, get a babysitter so that you can have a fun night together without the baby. Yeah. But then also celebrate it at the three of you as well.
Let me take Meadow so you guys can go for a weekend.
Okay, deal. Take her right now.
Make sure you raise grown-ups, not kids, too.
Yeah. We'll try.
Yeah. I would say that just really thankful that you two moved back to Kansas City.
Yeah.
Again, you both were big parts of my years in Nebraska, and really, really happy to have you as big parts of my life and our life in Kansas City. And we love couple times we've been out recently with you two and Meadow. We've been really impressed and really, really enjoyed our time. Not just with the two of you, but with the whole Shad crew.
I'm glad I get to spend this time with you guys. It's been really fun having you in Kansas City, and I'm just excited to see you guys grow in the next 5 to 10 years, and for you to. It's been so fun seeing you guys as parents. It's just, I don't know. I just love when my friends are parents, and you guys are just so sweet and cute to her, and she's so loving. And
I love that we have our little babies and hang out, and look forward to more of that.
I'm just honored that I have been part of so much of it, and I feel like I've been there from the very beginning. It's been fun to see you guys grow, and it's an inspiring relationship, and I'm glad that we have many, many more years to celebrate all of our lives together.
Really grateful for you guys' friendship. Probably be leaning on you for questions, and we've been telling a lot of people that. So it's really fun to, I guess, wrap up all the memories. Just watch you guys be parents now. I can't wait to be a dad, watching you be a dad, and Rachel's such a good mom, and all our friends are kind of going through this, so it's brings a lot of joy to watch friends become parents. Even though it's sometimes also like, wow, when did this happen?
I know.
Just happy anniversary. Love you guys. Had a lot of fun hanging out with you guys here in KC, and we look forward to doing more in the future.
Just happy anniversary. Look forward to the next year and many more together. Anything?
Happy anniversary. I'm pumped to be close to you. I truly care about both of you. Shreya's obsessed with your baby. It's a beautiful baby. So if you want to make more babies, I'm sure they'll be attractive. So we're happy, but I hope you guys do something fun, and I wish you a long, long, happy marriage.
I think you guys are great and future ahead of you.
Guys, lots of champagne, lots of mom and dad me time. Congratulations on doing it. You guys are seriously one of the coolest couples that I know. I'm happy to have you as friends, and may all your years shine as brightly as you two do.
You guys are awesome. We love you. We appreciate you, and we're excited for you guys.
Yeah, 5 years, that's a big deal.
Yeah, it
Marriage.
is.
So, yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Hope you have a great time celebrating. And we know that this won't be the last time you celebrate. Many more life milestones to come.
I'm so happy for you guys to make it this far, and now you have Meadow in the picture. Big happy family, and I'm so glad that we met when we met, and we have so many memories here. But I think we'll try better and meet up, and so that we have more memories to come.
Yay!
And yeah, onwards and upwards.
I hope you have a great time. And I wish we could be there.
Anything else you'd like to say, Maddox?
No.